Good morning, Daybreak Watchers. We're going to get going in about 30 seconds here.
Fun during Nightlight with Pete Schwaba and Greg Buck from 5 to 7. Smart talk, fresh voices, and news you can count on. 92.7 WMDX.
Finding support for my child with ADHD felt overwhelming. I didn't know which direction to take, but Understood.org's resources helped guide me. Now I have the tools I need to keep us moving forward.
Good morning!
Morning!
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is where Wisconsin wakes up. It's Daybreak with Brian Noonan and Jamie Martinson. Here are your hosts, Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It's 6:06 right now. A gorgeous start to your day. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. You caught me mid-yawn, Parker. We should have waited another 3 seconds. Everything would have been great. If you want to get a hold of us this morning, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Jamie, how are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. The sun is shining. It's going to be another gorgeous day. Hopefully get to be outside with the puppers again some more. We do a lot of hiking this time of year. This is how we spend our days, with her head buried in grasses and tree stumps and all sorts of things, weeds. Of course, she carries all of that home. It's fine.
Sure, yeah. Got to check her for ticks and pull the burrs off her.
That's right. This is how we spend our days now, outside, enjoying the weather. She doesn't care if I'm sweating. She's perfectly fine. She's got her bottle of water. She's ready to roll. So that's how you usually find us if you're at our house on any given day this time of year. How about you? Anything exciting happening in your world?
Yes, but nothing
question.
There's a lot going on. This is the big try. Yesterday I had to explain to my mom why she was having to move. And it didn't go well, but it's everybody. A lot of people have had those conversations, and then I'm still. One of the dogs is still recovering from a self-inflicted injury.
Have you tried a puppy chiropractor?
Not yet. I have to bring that because the vet was like, "Oh, well, it's going to take a little while." I forgot. I actually forgot about the puppy chiropractor. I'm writing it down. I am writing it down though right now.
I'm telling you, I know it sounds ridiculous. It really, really does. But it's like people, right? We had a dog at one point. She was part dachshund, and so she was always hurting her back. Didn't matter. She could go downstairs. She could trip over like a line in the hardwood. All of a sudden, she'd throw her back out. And so we took her to a vet, and, they did the same thing. And I love vets for so many reasons, but it's just like people. They started throwing lots of painkillers at her. And then I said to our vet one day, I said, well, I have a really bad back, and when my back goes out, nothing really helps until I get to the chiropractor or like a masseuse or whatever. Yeah. And she looked at me and she goes, well, there are dog chiropractors. I said, well, no, but 2 weeks ago, I guess if you would have told me this, we could have maybe made some progress.
Well, sure, but if she tells you that, then she's,
right. And I'm not picking up prescriptions every other day for the dog. And so it's just like doctors. I get it. And not a lot of people have pet insurance, so I also get that. So we went to the puppy chiropractor, and it has become a staple for our dogs. And for especially our one before Aspen, she had to go pretty regularly, like every other week. Now, Aspen only goes about once every 4 months or so. And that's mostly because she's pretty rough. She likes to run headfirst into things. She likes to skip stairs every now and then. She likes to try to rock climb like a mountain goat when we go on said hikes.
All right.
So about every 3 to 4 months, we go to the puppy chiropractor. She puts her all back into alignment, fixes the neck, fixes the hips.
Wow.
Aspen, and so that's what we do. And
all right.
it
Well,
sounds
I have written
ridiculous.
this down. Now I have to do research. At some point next week, I have to do research. I don't have this week.
Right,
is
not this week. Not
going to be a fun. But I have to ask Frank, because Frank, our executive producer, is house sitting.
Yes.
And that's I don't know how. Frank, how long are your parents gone that you needed to go and live at their house? Did they leave for months and months, like a European vacation, or just the weekend?
And if so, I'm jealous.
No, they left for a week.
Okay.
but I'm basically here to watch the pool. I have to run the filter. There's a lot of seeds falling from one of the trees.
Wait a minute. You have to watch the pool. That's you're the pool boy?
Yeah, basically.
Who watches the pool on a normal basis?
My parents.
And
they're retired.
I understand, but aren't those things automatic? Like doesn't the filter just run?
No, you have to turn the pump on. You have to turn the pump on.
No timers in your suburb?
No.
Really?
Not this one.
Timers.
Let's be real. You're also there to feed the bunny. Please,
I am there to
explain,
feed the bunny.
Please explain this story. Because
wait,
it was
there's a bunny?
It was the best photo last night that you sent me that I've ever seen, and I got so excited to see a bun sitting at a picnic table.
I'm going to send it in the chat right now.
So please explain this, because it is the most adorable photo. For anybody who is listening as well, they're going to want a little synopsis of this bun sitting at its own personal picnic table, because it is a very, very pleasant experience.
Look, I've realized that when you retire.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She was not kidding.
Wow.
When you
it's not a human, it's a bunny-sized picnic table.
It is a bunny-sized picnic table. Yes.
So
it's
instead
adorable.
of installing a timer on the pump, your dad built a bunny-sized picnic table?
Basically.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the lay of the land up there.
There's a bunny that visits every day.
Oh, this isn't their bunny.
No.
Oh, I thought you were there because they had a pet rabbit.
No.
This is just some wild bunny.
This is a wild bunny that shows up at 7:30 on the dot every day.
It's because your dad has trained it.
And my dad goes out there and feeds him every single day.
On his little bun-sized picnic table.
Yes. So yesterday I go out there.
Did your dad build that for that wild rabbit?
I can't remember if because they do sell these. I can't remember if I think they bought this. I think my sister bought this for him as a gag gift.
God.
Oh, so she's encouraging it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's become the bunny's personal table.
Yeah.
Well, look at how happy.
Yes.
Look at the bun. If
Look
you're
at
on
him.
stream, look at how happy that bun is.
Oh.
He's a fat little bunny too.
because he gets fed every day.
Yeah, he doesn't have to forage for food. He's got, he's spoiled.
Oh,
wow.
He's so adorable.
So I go out there yesterday and it's 7:30 and he's not there.
Oh, did you panic?
A little bit, because I was like, oh my God, if this bunny got snatched by a hawk or something, while they're gone.
Would your dad have been devastated?
He'd be pretty sad. I think he'd be pretty beat up about it.
Would it have been your fault?
Possibly.
Did you have pets when you were a kid, Frank? Did you that your dad would miss a pet, or is he just
we had
at that age
dogs.
where he's decided that this bunny is his responsibility now?
I think
it's very nice.
Or is he just retired and he needs something else to think about?
I think he's retired, and he's got a lot of bird feeders back there, which is why I asked Brian if you're at the age where you're watching birds now.
No,
Does he give you the?
If they fly past my eye line, then
is your dad one of those guys who gives you a play-by-play of what the birds are doing?
Yes.
Because my mom, I love this woman. She lives in an apartment and she has a dryer vent outside of her apartment. And for the last 2 years, every year around the same time, this little tiny sparrow comes and builds its nest in this dryer vent. And it eventually has the baby birds, and you can hear them peeping outside. I have heard tales of this bird for the last 2 years, including the day that one of them fell out of the nest and died on her patio, and the mama bird sat and chirped at her. She talks to this bird like it's her best friend. The bird sits on her railing of her deck and chirps back at her. And I'm like, we could just get you a real pet, like a small one. If
that's a lot of that.
Less maintenance.
That's responsibility. Yeah, that's
except
too
she
much.
can't dry her clothes or use her dryer because she's afraid she's going to burn up the babies and the mama bird. And then, of course, the dryer vent is essentially clogged for a good portion of the year because there's an entire bird nest in there. But it's fine. It's okay. But she really does truly love her little mama bird who comes back each and every year. So I kind of get the bunny thing. We haven't gone as far as getting like a bird feeder or anything yet because I don't think she can actually have one on her apartment patio. But at the same time,
skip the bird feeder. Get a little bunny picnic table.
Get a bunny picnic table.
Install it. So I go out there yesterday. It's 7:30.
Yes.
He's not out there because he's usually just sitting there waiting.
Really?
Yes, like day one.
He's so well trained.
Day one, we were sitting outside, and I looked over, and he's just sitting by the table. And I texted my dad, and I said, am I supposed to feed this guy? He's like, of course. He's waiting for his food. And I was like, oh, my God. I'm watching Snow White's Cottage.
Oh, my jeez.
So then yesterday, he wasn't there, and I was like, oh, my God. That's
what if
crazy.
a coyote has another table just 50 yards away and it drags the bunny over there?
So I got a scoop of the corn or whatever. He feeds it. I put it in there. And I turn around and the bunny's staring at me. Like he was somewhere waiting.
He was hiding and waiting
for
you. But you weren't the same person, so he probably was a little off-put. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, maybe he's just going to wait till your dad comes back.
Yeah. Like,
just
he'll come out for
wait.
your dad, but for you, he's going to hide until he sees the food. I mean, that would make total sense. Cindy,
I wouldn't come out if I saw Frank sitting in the yard waiting for me.
Cindy from Appleton texts in, and Frank says that your dad is a sweetheart. So
he's something.
Is that the
That's
adjective
a polite
you would
term.
use? Okay, all right.
How long was it before, like when he first noticed, hey, this bunny keeps coming around the yard, till he decided to foster this bunny?
I don't know. I think he's been doing it for like a year.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'd be like, we'd get home. I think one day we got home from like dinner or something. Because I was staying out here for the weekend. And he's like, went into the garage or something. I said, where are you going? He's like, I got to feed the bunny. I said, what? He's like, yeah, the bunny. Come here. I'll show you.
Bunny, you know.
And then I went out there and he was sitting at his picnic table.
Has he named this bunny?
Yeah, the bunny.
Oh, the bunny.
The bunny.
T bunny.
T bunny, yes.
Oh, okay.
What's up, the bunny?
No, I will say
I love this story. There's so many. We'll have to get your dad on someday. I need to.
Yeah.
I don't think we should.
I
don't need that man on these airwaves.
I need at least one segment to find out what's going on. Maybe a glimpse into my future.
Going to be out there feeding your bunnies, getting
No,
bunny
I'm not.
picnic tables?
I barely can feed myself and the dog.
Ryan, I'm going to get you a little bunny picnic table.
All right.
I don't know if of all the animals that I've seen wander through this yard, I haven't seen a bunny.
Oh,
but that picture is hilarious.
Look at him.
He's so happy. He's like the happiest little bud I've ever seen.
Well, all right. We need at 7 when we come back after the 7:30 break. You need to tell us if the bunny is there.
No, 7:30 p.m.
Oh, 7:30 p.m. Oh, he's a late diner.
He is a late diner.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes. Look, I mean, that bunny looks like he can barely hop. I mean, he has been.
Why are you body shaming that bunny? Oh my God. Jamie's taking out years of frustration on this poor bunny. Listen, fatty, what do you have?
It's a well-fed rabbit.
It is a very well-fed rabbit. I'm just thinking that he probably only needs one meal a day because he has eaten very, very well.
He's well taken care of.
Yeah,
yes,
but it's making him slower against animals that might prey on him. He like rolls out of your dad's yard on his belly with his big bloated gut, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so." And a coyote's like, "What's up, Slowpokey?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?"
He is awfully adorable, though.
Very nice. Well, it is Pride Month. We'll talk about how Wisconsin ranks for LGBTQ plus communities. After this is Daybreak, and it is the Civic Media Network.
So that's going to get made into a promo. I don't know how I'm going to fit that into 22 seconds, but
life finds a way, Parker.
wow.
Look at him.
That's just
I can't believe it. This is not AI or Photoshop, Frank. You're not trying to get one over on the
I
old
will
folks.
send a picture of just the table. This is real.
Oh my God.
Well, because yesterday we had a meeting, and then in the evening we were going back and forth on the rundown. Frank sends a photo, and he's like, sorry, because I asked a question, and I know you're busy, so I was like, okay. And then he sends a photo, and he's like, sorry, I had to go feed the bunny. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then it's this photo of the bunny at the table.
Did you show Corey? Was he like, what the hell?
No, he didn't get home until about 8:30 last
Damn.
night. So, yeah, by the time he got home, he was pretty tired. We didn't really do much. What did we do? We ate. He brought dinner home because we were both working, and that was pretty much the extent of it. Then we walked the dog about a couple blocks, and then we were like, okay, that's it. It's time to go to home. Time for bed. So.
Yeah, your insomnia rubbed off on me. I could not sleep last night.
I'm sorry.
All good.
At least I got more than 2 hours of sleep last night. That was good. Wasn't much more, but it was something. Aspen tried to kill a bunny last night. She found a baby one in the grass, and I was like, nope. I rescued that bunny.
Did she try to kill the bunny, or did she try to play with the bunny?
Oh no, she's a huntress.
George.
She will hunt.
Okay.
Poor little bunny.
She hunts in holes. She will stick her snout in anything. And
Frank,
pull
you need to go up and
gophers out.
rescue that bunny and bring
All
your
right,
years
yeah.
of friend.
I know.
A little less than 10
Give him some
seconds.
feed.
Local voices, statewide impact. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
6:22 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Alicia chiming in over on our YouTube chat saying good morning, everyone. Good morning back to you and Alicia,
Morning, Alicia.
and everybody listening on the stream, or I should say watching on the stream this morning. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Good to have you with us. If you want to get involved, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. This is Pride Month. Yeah, we were talking about so many other things yesterday. We neglected to say that Pride Month, of course, starts in June. And how does Wisconsin deal with it? Now, I know, Madison, very progressive town. Milwaukee, very progressive. You wonder, where does Wisconsin fall as far as safety goes for the LGBTQ plus community? And it's kind of sad that we still have to talk about that's still an issue that we have to think about. Oh, how safe is it? It should be safe all the time, and it shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, I know why it is. I know it because of years and years of oppression and having to live. That's why it's a big deal. But someday maybe we'll get to a point where we can still have Pride Month, but it's not as dire, and we don't have to worry about the safety part of it. That people can just exist, like
Right.
everybody else. Well, good news though for Wisconsin. We have slowly become more inclusive for the LGBTQ plus community. A lot of states, they're trending the other way, though. So good. Out Leadership ranked Wisconsin as the 22nd safest state in its 2026 LGBTQ plus state business climate index. It's a report intended for company leaders who seek to incorporate the community in businesses. 22nd's good, right? But that's still middle of the pack.
I was gonna say it's not
not great.
as bad as other states, obviously, but no, it's not great. And I think what I will say is when Tony Evers became governor, I think Wisconsin was probably farther behind a lot of other states, and I think he's done a lot over the course of his 8 years in office to actually raise Wisconsin's ranking, we'll call it. But I mean, yeah, there's always room for improvement. And I mean, nearly 6% of Wisconsin residents identify as LGBTQ, at least according to a couple of years ago, and the UCLA's Williams Institute. But there's always room for improvement. Even if you're the number one state on this list, I still think there's probably more that everybody can do to include the LGBTQ community and make sure that there are precautions and safety across the board.
How do you feel about these companies that make it seem like Pride Month is just a money grab, a PR stunt? I understand why, but and not being a member of the community, it probably is different for you. I'm wondering if it rings hollow, because I do see a lot of posts on social media about people saying, well, May 31st, the company is this, and August 1st
but that's what
or
we
July
do in
1st.
this country, right? That's what we do in this country. We take a month, or we take a day, or we take a part of history, or we take somebody's life or livelihood or whatever it might be, and we turn it into something that we can profit off of, because we like to do that in this country for numerous things.
You got to profit. You got to profit, Jamie. What are you going to do if you're not making profit? You're just sitting around.
And the LGBTQ plus community is no different. So companies have grabbed onto that. They use that as a way to sell merchandise, to make themselves look better. I mean, it's unfortunate that we do that, because these people any group is just trying to live their life, right? They're trying to raise their families, have jobs, and there's other companies and other people that want to profit.
Just like every other person, they used to have money to spend. Now does anybody have extra money to spend? I don't care if you're in the LGBTQ plus community or who you are, you're not going to have money.
On a higher note, I saw gas this morning for $3.89 at numerous gas stations on my way in. So just
thanks,
for anybody,
Trump. Look at you.
Anybody in the Madison area.
Well, that's all right. I'm sure the war is going to end, even though negotiations bore him. That was the newest quote coming out of the White House. All these top-level negotiations bore him.
It's hard to pay attention.
Yeah, and it's hard to have a peace agreement when you keep blowing each other up. I mean, both sides are doing it, but it's anyway. But we digress. Where did Wisconsin score the lowest? Well, in legal and non-discrimination protections. It's one of the two categories in which the report says the state declined. They said the Out Leadership study said Wisconsin lacks some legal protections, including anti-bullying laws for LGBTQ plus youth. The report also noted Wisconsin has legal punishments for hate crimes against people based on sexual orientation, but not gender identity. So I mean, it's a big difference. I don't know why we would have one and not the other, but we'll see. They also docked Wisconsin some points for the attempts by Wisconsin lawmakers to pass several bills targeting gender identity in public schools and sports. Most were vetoed by Governor Evers. The Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, however, did uphold a ban on transgender athletes playing in high school girls' sports. And Wisconsin also declined in health access and safety. The state only fell by a single point, thankfully, largely from major state pediatric hospitals pausing gender-affirming care. So
I mean, that's been a big battle in this state, right?
It has.
With the gender-affirming care, you've seen many of the hospital systems come under fire from LGBTQ.
Yes.
There we go.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of letters, and it's early.
I don't mean this offensive. I hope it's not. I don't mean.
No.
It was easier to just say the gay community. And I know I understand all the different groups. I just, for our purposes of having to say the acronym a million times, it's just easier. But I understand, and please don't. This was not,
Yes. And my tongue and my brain sometimes don't work together. So it takes me a minute, especially when it's this early in the morning.
And I always forget the plus. I'm not going to lie. I do. I don't know why.
And some places add it and some don't. So, and I never want to be the person who assumes, and I never want to forget anybody in the categories. So,
well, happy Pride Month. We're not trying to profit off of you. We're glad you're listening, just like everybody else. We're glad everybody's listening.
We're going to celebrate
Pride
with you.
Month. Yeah, definitely. I love bright colors. All right, when we come back, there is so much more. We'll have a little... Well, good. So much more ended it.
Ain't good enough.
Good enough.
Alicia, look at our president bringing down gas prices that
Yeah.
he increased. Yes.
You mean solving a problem?
Boy, his life
He
is falling
created
apart. This is
again?
great. His name's off the Kennedy Center. They're stopping that slush fund. Everybody backed out. He had to cancel the crazy concert. UFC fighters are backing out.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Did you see his post? I think it was about the Iran negotiations. And at the end of the post, it was basically like, but don't worry, everything will work out fine. It always does. I'm like, that's advice I get from my dad, not my president.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It's
It's
something I
not
need
working
coming
out.
of the
It's
Oval Office.
it's not the leader of the third row. Oh no, I got it. I feel it in my gut. It'll all be fine. Everything's
always
good.
works out.
He
I'm
gives
like,
him a
yeah.
Jamie. Everything's good. Everything's fine.
Feeling groovy.
He is going to be in Chippewa Falls on Friday.
I saw that.
Yeah, I just saw that James applied
Yes.
for credentials. Yeah.
I was going to add that in yesterday, but then I thought, well, that's one of those stories that's going to be on the regular news. So
Yeah.
if we have somebody up there, though, it'd be fun to get them on.
Yeah, James applied for his credentials. I would be shocked if he doesn't get them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's speaking at either, so.
No, I actually didn't even know that it was Chippewa Falls until this morning.
He's going to
Never
be
looked
there
into
to, well, because Derek Van Orden and RFK were at a farm yesterday. So I believe he's back in the area to tout the farming community, agriculture. And as far as the releases I've seen, that's the purpose of this particular visit. So
Did Kennedy wrestle a goat to the ground and bite its neck?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen much from their visit.
I didn't either. I just saw that they were doing it.
I've seen a couple of still photos, but I haven't seen much else from Kennedy and DVO. I mean, DVO 8 hours ago posted a cow on his social medias.
Said, isn't this a beautiful horse?
Because I don't know. It's some knock against Rebecca Cook as I'm reading this ad for basically saying she was raised on a dairy farm, but not so far acknowledging that it's June Dairy Month. June is everything month.
Yeah,
It was still the first.
It was still the first day of the month.
Yes.
It's not like, June 30th. Sorry, I forgot.
It's not like June is one day, but that's essentially what the ad is. I had to read the caption, read the subtitles coming up on the cow.
Okay.
There's a lot happening on this page.
I think that's
normally is.
It's very, very big, big worry. Very important priority to worry about.
But see, he was a dairy farm yesterday with RFK, so.
But RFK doesn't believe in milk.
He believes in raw milk.
Did
he
he suck some right out of a teat?
He could have drank it right out of the bucket yesterday, honestly.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. suckling a cow.
That wouldn't actually be one of the weirdest things we've heard
No,
from
it wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Right from the source. We're gonna put a cow in every school. That way the kids can get lunch.
By his own admission in his own memoirs, it would not be the weirdest thing that we've heard that he's done.
Damn it.
Come on, Parker. You would love that to be back in school and just go into the cafeteria and they just point one of the udders at you and here's your squirt for the day, Bob. But Mommy, the bacteria hurts my tummy. Take your teat juice and move on. I don't think dairy farmers call it teat juice, do they?
I hope they don't. I hope no one calls it that.
I
hope you stop calling
There's all sorts of stories starting to come out now from their visit yesterday.
About 10 seconds.
across the state of Wisconsin. Daybreak with Brian and Jamie is back.
6:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate it. Just over a half hour away until you have another chance to win with our multi-state text to win contest. Be listening for the word of the hour and have your Civic Media app ready. Hey, if you were listening yesterday, you know that we ran into a few technical glitches. Those have all been fixed. So no worries today.
Everything's taken care of.
Yes, and Parker, you were actually right. You were actually correct as to why
is
there
that
was an
right?
issue. Because
really funny.
start is a prompt, and it broke the system yesterday.
Oopsies.
So
Wow.
there you go.
All the tech geniuses at this company, and nobody went, you know what? Delete is also not going to be a word.
Stop is probably not one either, but no, it was all fixed. It's all good.
Oh,
and,
that's hilarious.
Just one of those things nobody thought of, right? Like you just don't think
no.
about it. You're just making lists.
Would
and,
never have thought of that until it actually happened.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. But it's all good today. We are good.
All right.
The contest resumed with no hitches the rest of yesterday. So thank you to everybody.
So fatal error is not our word at 7.
It is
Okay.
not. Backslash colon, not going to be.
Colon. All right, well, good. As long as we've learned our lesson, that's what we have
That's
to do.
right.
And
That's right.
this is now we want your opinion on this. Do you think, like Congress does, that the control of the Congress is going to run through Iowa? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. So they're saying, both Republicans and Democrats, that Iowa is going to be one of the key states. But before we get into that, Miss Jamie wants to give a history lesson.
Well,
because
it's interesting because Wisconsin and Iowa have some similar demographics and some similar history as far as the politics, right?
Right.
Both states were built on really strong traditions of farmer-led and working-class populism.
Yeah.
With movements that pushed back against the corporations and advocated for everyday people, essentially the middle class. Wisconsin, though, became more known for its progressive reforms, the strong unions, public education, and the legacy of the Wisconsin idea. And we also can thank Bob LaFollette for implementing some of that throughout the state of Wisconsin. Iowa, though, their populism is rooted a little bit more heavily in agriculture and the rural communities. And it was during the 1980s, during the farm crisis, that Iowa became a center for progressive pro-farmer politics. Wisconsin, though, stayed a little bit more balanced with the strong labor and the progressive movements while growing a lot of the conservative influence across the state. Over the last decade, though, the two states have obviously taken very dramatic paths. I mean, the last time that Iowa voted for a Democratic president was for Barack Obama twice. We have not seen them vote, quote unquote, blue since then. They've shifted firmly Republican. Wisconsin obviously has stayed a little bit more of a swing state, mostly because of research and analysts, way smarter than me, because of the fact that Wisconsin has two urban areas to kind of buoy them into the purple. If Iowa had more than just Des Moines and a couple of pockets, a very small blue voting area, they might be a little bit more of a swing state. But because they don't have the sort of population areas that Wisconsin does, they've firmly tilted red at this state or at this point. But both states actually still embrace populist politics. It just looks a little bit differently from state to state based on the population of rural versus more urban. And it is actually fascinating that for a very long time, if you look at how Wisconsin voted, Iowa usually followed suit. It hasn't been until within the last probably 10 to 20 years when you've seen Iowa take this sharp right turn, essentially, into politics.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to find out what the trigger was. Where that turning point comes, because if you look, Grassley's been in office for forever, so it wasn't him. He was there before politics.
He's 93 years old. He will be 93 at the end of this year, and he has been in office since I've been basically 2 years old. I am going to be 48 in October, by the way.
I have been. All right, well, don't Put that down. We got it. Jamie's hinting for a birthday present.
I'm not
we get
hinting.
it.
I'm old.
We'll get you.
I'm old. So he's been in office for a really long time because I'm really old. That's the point.
No, and we get. Listen, we get it. Don't worry. We'll take care of you, Parker. We'll start booking it now. A birthday, a big hoot nanny. You and Frank get on it. Let me know what I need to do, and we'll have a clown, and we'll have a big bird. Big happy birthday bird cake and all of that stuff. And we'll gerrymander the cake. Instead of giving all the cake to Jamie will just get a little bit of the cake.
There we go.
And we'll get all the cake and we'll just call it a gerrymandered birthday.
I love it. Then you don't even have to buy the whole cake. You can just buy a piece.
That's right. You just get a little.
That way.
Here,
we work on a radio budget here. I know how this works.
You get a cupcake and we get a cake.
There we go.
All the things we'll make it very, very Jamie centric.
There we go.
But yeah, Chuck Grassley's been there forever. He came with the corn, so I don't know where Iowa made that flip and what it is. Well, you mentioned it. It's Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay, the big urban areas that have kept the balance, because I've always been fascinated by the fact that the Republican Party started here in Wisconsin.
In Ripon,
yes, at the Little White Schoolhouse, which I'm fascinated by. The Little White Schoolhouse.
It's a great little area.
It's very interesting, the history of politics here, but then the state did get more progressive and more Democratic leaning, but then still kept its conservative roots. So they're now nationally, both parties are saying Iowa's where we have to win.
Yes.
And Republicans are campaigning on their record. They say they've delivered tax cuts, conservative policies, border security, and economic growth. I don't know. If you talk to some of the meatpacking places in Iowa, they're probably the border security not probably as tough as they want to tout. But we don't look there. We just and noted not a lot of ice raids.
No, there is not. There is not a lot of ice raids there.
So that's fine.
I also find it interesting that Iowa Republicans are really leaning heavily on their loyalty to the president.
Yeah.
Now, he remains, I will say this, as you look at the polling that comes out on his popularity, keep in mind that on a national level, he is down to around 34%. But he still has firm Republican support. It is still very high at this stage. Where he is losing drastic support is with the independents. And you are going to need those independents to essentially win any sort of election. But Republicans in general, it wavers poll to poll.
And it's
based
still
on
not
the economy.
Great.
It's not. But it is still really high for what is happening in the country based on things that this president said he would not do as president, and here we are, right? So it's something to keep in mind.
The policies really don't seem to be helping farmers. I mean, every once in a while he throws them a bone to try to keep them placated, but overall, look at what the farmers are dealing with right now because of the tariffs and the war and everything else. This is not a farmer-friendly economy,
right?
Just viewing it as an outsider, but talking to Pam Yonke and other people, I'm also surprised that a lot of these Republicans, especially ones who aren't as entrenched, are still hitching their wagon to Donald Trump. When as you mentioned, they're trying to court the independents. The independents are the one that they have to hold on to. Well, if the polling numbers and everything else indicates that those independents are drifting further and further away, it would seem, just on a very simplistic basis, a bad move to hitch your wagon to the star. Especially, and now we see things starting to unravel for him, and things are not, he doesn't have the power that he has, and he did not win this war. He took us into a quagmire, and there's so many things that you should be cautious of, I would think.
Right. I would think so, and Democrats are hitching their wagon to the point you just made. That's essentially their point when it comes to Iowa, because what both parties say is that that the Senate, especially with Joni Ernst deciding not to run again, and that seat being open, is essentially what is going to shift the power in the Senate. So Iowa is where everybody is really focused on, which I find fascinating because it has been so solidly red. So obviously, knowing, these parties, they have a lot of information that the rest of us aren't privy to. So they know a little something. They're seeing that there's something there that can be shifted. And I would say that the one district that everybody is watching closely, if you're somebody who loves politics, I know we aren't going to be electing senators in this state. We've got enough of an election on our own between the governor and everything else. But if you're interested in following, how Congress could shift, Iowa's really going to be the race. And it's the 2nd district. They have 4 districts. The 2nd district of Iowa is really where the focus is for a majority of these parties. But Democrats are bringing it home essentially to the kitchen table issues. They're talking about the inflation, the healthcare costs, the housing affordability, tariffs, and to your point, what is challenging the farmers? They are really going out and courting the farmers and trying to do a grassroots effort. And it's funny because as I was doing a little research on this, both parties are now establishing firm grassroots door-knocking efforts throughout Iowa. That is what is happening.
Yeah,
so
you gotta
folks
get out
in
there.
Iowa, you're going to be the new Wisconsin, essentially, because they are making an effort to essentially flip what's happening in Iowa.
Well, and the governor's race there is one of the biggest things too, because it's there's no incumbent. This is the chance, and if voters get out, and both parties, and this is everywhere. This is not unique to Iowa. We talk about it here. The turnout, you got to get people out, which goes to your door knocking campaign and courting those independents and making people aware of what you actually stand for and what you really want to do. But the governor's race is going to be a big one to watch. If that flips, maybe the whole state's Republican stronghold begins to deteriorate.
Well, and Kim Reynolds has been a governor who has, a lot like what has happened in other states, she has that party together all the time. Agree with her, disagree with her. There is no defectors in a Kim Reynolds government. And so I think it's going to be really fascinating to see, because it's essentially, we talk about Wisconsin being a testing ground for a lot of the things that we see happening in the country now. Iowa is now starting to kind of emerge into that a little bit, at least this election cycle. And I know it ebbs, I know it flows. There's always new areas, but it is going to be a fascinating race, especially over the next few months. And I know that right now there are several people vying for that Senate seat for both parties. There's a lot of competition right there. But I think it's going to be who resonates the message the best, right? Can you afford things? How is your grocery bill? How is your gas bill? And I think whoever can get that message out and convince the voters that those policies are actually affecting them, it's going to come down to who is effectively the best messenger. And it reminds me a little bit of 2018 here in Wisconsin, right? When Scott Walker was running and you had Tony Evers kind of swoop in, people were ready for a change. That's what it's reminding me of just a little bit as we watch the similarities play out.
And it's going to be interesting to me to watch if the allegiance and the backing of Trump stays as strong as it is, or if people start to, if things continue to go badly, they go, you know what, maybe it's time to pull back. Well, Jamie, I know a lot of people have been emailing in. Brian, you and Jamie never talk about polar bears mating. Why is that? Well, we'll fix it after this.
That's right.
It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
Yeah, Iowa's going to be, I think that's going to be a really fun race to watch if you're a politics wonk. Because Democrats are, they feel like they've got a firm hold this time in Iowa.
Yeah.
And I've got, I know some people who work on campaigns down there, and I was having a conversation with one of them a couple weeks ago, and she was like, this is the first time in a really long time where she's like, I feel like the Democrats in Iowa have their ducks in a row.
Oh.
Like, it's just the prime time. She's like, and she works within the Democratic Party. So when she says this, I feel confident with it coming from her. She's like, I just feel like we've been a little disorganized, a little not as aligned as the Republicans in this state. We didn't have clear paths for actually seeing real change, but she's like, you always try, right?
Sure.
And then it was a few months ago when they had a special election, and I can't remember her last name. I believe her first name was Caitlin, though. She actually flipped a Republican stronghold and in a special election. And that was, I think, the real impetus for the Democrats to really be like, oh, well, there is actual change
there
wanted
people
here.
We
Yeah.
can
And Caitlin
win.
ran a really great campaign, from what I understand from people who were involved, where she did all the work. It was the door knocking. It was the events. She showed up. Her husband, her kids helped with all of that. And she talked about the fact that even then she was talking about the kitchen table issues.
Yeah.
And this was at the, I don't know, I think it was like last summer when she won that special election, if I remember my timing right. Because we actually had her on the network after she won, because she made national headlines when she flipped, because it'd been such a Republican stronghold for so long. So it's fascinating.
It is. It is nonstop. Living here, having just been working in the state for a number of years, the amount of politics and how
it's exhausting.
How crazy it gets. Yeah,
it's exhausting, and I think that's why people in Wisconsin honestly disengage. I think you have to at a certain point.
At some point, you have to.
You have to. You can't pay attention to every single race. I mean, we had 4 or 5 elections this year, just this year alone.
Yeah.
Between the primaries, the springs, it's a lot.
Yeah, it just.
And if you want
going.
any sort of life, you can't pay attention to all of it, right? Because
We got 15 seconds till we're back.
Local news, community stories, and the conversations that matter most. Now, more Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Civic Media Network. It is 6:52 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Parker playing a little romantic bear mating music for this next story. Bears are my spirit animal because they're big and lumbering, and they look very approachable and cuddly,
Yes.
and then they will rip your throat out with one swipe of their hand. It's just, don't underestimate a bear. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so I love bears of all sorts, grizzly, brown, polar. And that brings us to the zoo here in Madison. Now, I haven't been to, is it the Henry Villas Zoo or Villas?
Vilas.
Henry Vilas. I apologize.
Yes.
I've not been to the Madison Zoo.
It's
I
a
honestly
lovely
didn't know
little zoo.
Madison had a zoo, but
Yes.
now I do. And I also know they have polar bears, so I'm going to get there. And I know these polar bears are getting busy, so now I'm intrigued.
Well, that's
So they
what everybody's hoping anyway, right?
Yes. Well, they brought in Seiko. They brought in Nora. She
Nora,
was
yep.
she's a female polar bear, and they wanted to know if she'd vibe with Sika, who was their 16-year-old male polar bear. He came to Madison from Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago in October. Well, in February, I guess, reports are, and this is creepy, they spent 3 days mating. Parker, can you imagine?
3 days.
3 days, buddy. Come on.
I mean, when you're a polar bear,
72 hours of,
what else are you going to do?
of polar love. First of all, kudos, Sika. 16 years old,
Yeah.
still getting it done.
It's hard to get romantic when everybody's staring at you and watching out your every move, right?
Yeah.
Marking it down and
Kids are
writing
banging
notes.
on the glass and looking at you. Hey, what are the polar bears doing, Mom? Oh,
Yeah, it's a little hard to be, in the mood and romantic. In
that
those
one
moments,
sounds like Dad.
But
So
Kudos,
they're trying to, because Sika was brought to the zoo and so was Nora to procreate. They needed more bears because there's not a lot of polar bears, and the Vilas Zoo has been working with the Polar Bear Population Alliance, which is terrific. I didn't realize there's only 35 polar bears at facilities accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums in America. Now, because the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago has a couple polar bears.
Sure.
We know now you got 3 up in Madison. So where are they? That's 5 right there.
Right. Yes. Gary in Madison chiming in on the conversation this morning on our text line. He says, historically, Madison's Park Zoo has managed one of the highest rates of reproduction in polar bears in captivity in the world.
Really?
Wow. That's fast. I feel like that's a story in itself.
Yeah, really. We got to get some behind the scenes.
That's right. That's right. But I
don't look, Parker. Don't look up polar bear mating on the work computer.
I am not going to be looking at. No,
going to get some weird things.
And you mentioned it because the Vilas Zoo actually has 3 of those 35 bears: Nora, Siku, and a 27-year-old female named Barrett. And those 3 are the only polar bears, by the way, in Wisconsin. And you can see them here in Madison. So,
well, I'm going to be up there next week. I may have to take a side trip to the zoo. I love watching the polar bears swim.
I know they're fascinating. Aren't they?
It's very calming. It's like, look at these giant animals, and they just And then I love somebody will always be standing there. Their hair is really black. yeah. Everybody knows that, Johnny Science. We don't need you breaking down polar bear lore for us. So. Yeah, polar bears are facing a threat. There's the ice caps are melting. We've all seen these pictures of polar bears like sitting there and everything's melting around them.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to increase the population because I don't know where they get the blubber. That's part of the reason. That's part of the reason that because polar bears eat seals to get the blubber, and seals are diminishing. So I don't know where the Vilas Zoo is getting blubber. There's so many jokes there, I'm not going to make any of them.
I feel like these are conversations we're going to definitely have to have with the zoo. And I do find this fascinating. I would really love to know more about the fact that they have this reproduction effort at the Vilas Zoo, because this is really cool. But one of the things that's the best about this is now we're tracking Nora's every move, Brian, because now after mating for 3 days straight.
3 days.
Now we're trying to determine whether or not Nora may be pregnant. And they aren't going to know the answer to that question until December, around the time when she would give birth. So nobody has any idea if this polar bear is walking around pregnant or not. Now, polar bears, we're going to get a little science-y here, thanks to the story, but polar bears experience delayed implantation, meaning their pregnancy is relatively short at less than 2 months. And by the time Nora actually gives birth, she would weigh close to 800 pounds. Now, by the time I gave birth, I felt like I weighed close to 800 pounds.
I was going to say, at first, I'm sure every woman went, only 2 months. That's great.
That's amazing.
I have to weigh 800 pounds. I'll put up with the extra 7 months.
Right.
That'll work out.
All of the mama bear fat makes it nearly impossible to use any sort of ultrasound to detect whether or not there is a fetus. And so a newborn cub, just in case you're wondering, would weigh about 1.5 pounds.
So the baby weight's not going to make a big difference for Nora.
No, it's not going to make any. That is crazy. Science is cool, people, first and foremost. Science is really cool, but now I'm enthralled in this. Now I want to know whether or not Nora is going to have a baby.
We need it to be like in Anchorman, the Ron Burgundy story, and we need to be making sure tracking the panda birth, but we're going to track if Nora is pregnant, and then we'll have a baby shower. If we find out around Christmas that Nora is, then we'll have a baby shower. We'll send Parker out to slaughter some seals and bring Parker, your job is to carry out our wishes.
You can find some seal blubber.
You can get seal meat.
Seal blubber. It'll be fine.
How hard is it? Go up, talk to some Inuits. They'll give you. You can barter for it.
And it's Wisconsin in December. The seals just want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
tourist
blubber.
Destination for seals.
A lot of blubber around here, so you can go and find some easily. All right, when we come back, it's the first word of our Accelerate Your Summer text to win. So be listening for that and all the stuff you need to know. It's coming up after the news. This is Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
The Henry Viola Zoo rocks.
Oh yeah,
does
it's
it really?
A great zoo.
It's
yeah.
a free. You can get in for free.
Oh
It's
wow!
got a ton of educational stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And you have 3 polar bears, so
Yes.
Yes.
you win. I'm
And
good.
we have flamingos.
Oh, I love flamingos.
The flamingos make me happy.
Flamingos are
Yes,
awesome.
I like the flamingos.
Yes. Flamingos are good. They don't fly at me, so they're
Yeah, they're just chilling. They're lawn ornaments.
Yeah.
That's right. And anybody who can balance on one leg like that long
Mm-hmm.
always has mad respect for me.
Flamingos are big in Madison, so I'm glad that they have a lot of flamingos.
Yes. Flamingos are awesome. Do they still have the lions? It's been a while.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a long
Yeah,
time.
I haven't been there in a while. They had that was the first thing I remember when we moved here to Wisconsin in general. The boys and I went over there one day, and from the parking lot, you could hear the roar of those lions.
Oh, nice.
It was the coolest thing ever because the boys are like, "Do they have actual lions?" I said, "Well, it kind of sounds like it." If we go back
No,
to
it's
your
just a
see and say
tape.
day, if we
What
go
a
back to your
ripoff.
see and say days, guys, that would be the lion.
The lion says, "Welcome to Madison."
And it's funny because our boys the boys traveled with us all the time when we would do storm chasing stuff, right? And conventions and things. And so basically as a bribe, we would always be like, okay, let's find an aquarium or a zoo. So they've been to zoos and aquariums all over the country to the point where at one point they were like, please don't take us to another zoo or aquarium. Please. They've since grown their appreciation again for them.
Okay.
But for a long time, they were like, Mom, please, how many fish can we see swim over the top of us? How many stingrays can we actually pet?
I don't know, it's still pretty cool.
It is very cool. But, they kind of lost their luster, so we had to take a little break from it. And then we didn't do that for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden one day they were like, hey, let's go to that aquarium that we saw when we came. So
That's cool.
They love their appreciation is back, but they needed a break. But the Henry Vilas Zoo is one of their favorites, and then they also loved the Como Zoo when we lived in the Twin Cities.
Okay.
That is a fabulous little zoo as well. We spent hours at that zoo, and I was the mom who always packed like the picnic.
Oh, you
and
have
I would
to,
have
yeah.
it you rent the locker so I can put all my coolers and everything, and we don't have to carry it around. And I'd go rent my locker, and we had the picnic salad is what we called it. It was a pasta salad with chicken, and it was like a taco. I'd make brownies. We'd have fresh fruit. So they had their little lunch and all of that, and that's what and then we'd spend the day at the zoo, going to all the zookeeper talks and the birds of prey, which terrified me. My boys didn't care. That was a perk. We did all of those things.
No, I always like going to the zoo. And people, what do you do about the zoo? Because the zoos you go to are basically research centers, and they care for these animals. We've been to the National Zoo, been to the San Diego Zoo.
Yep.
L.A. Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Brookfield's a great zoo.
No, we have a better appreciation for the zoos now after we took a break for a couple of years.
Yeah. It's fun to just walk around.
I do.
It's a big day. It's a lot of walking at Brookfield, so you could spend the day getting going.
And I will say the Como Zoo in St. Paul was always fun because they do a Sparky the Sea Lion show every day.
Oh.
From Memorial Day to Labor Day. Twice a day, I think Sparky gets out there and does this. Oh, he's so much fun.
Bouncing the ball on his nose.
Yes, yes. Jumps through
I love the
hoops,
dolphin
swims.
shows.
Yeah, those are the best.
The aquarium in Monterey, because you get to see the whole otter exhibit, is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the otters.
I love otters. We went to one year for Christmas. We surprised the boys because that's when they loved the Dolphin Tale movies and Hope and Winter. And so we surprised them with dolphin ornaments. And then when they opened it up, we told them that they were like the next day we were leaving for Tampa to go to the aquarium where
cool.
Hope and Winter were. So we got to go down there and see Hope and Winter, and they were doing a whole bunch of work because that's when the movies were just getting popular. So they were starting to make money and donors and all that. So we got to see, they had a full otter exhibit at the time.
Oh, nice.
And it was just like it was makeshift until the construction was done, but the otters enjoyed it. We spent, oh my gosh, like 2 hours watching the otters because they were having so much fun.
Oh, you could just, they're out of their minds.
They're a blast.
I was working in Monterey, and Debbie and Molly came with me this weekend, and we had gone to the aquarium, and it was beautiful. And then we went to this Mexican restaurant on the water. So we're sitting there looking out the window, and all of a sudden we look down. There's like 3 or 4 otters. Just like the whole dinner we got a show. Just sitting there eating, watching the otters play. It's like, oh my God.
They are just show-offs too. When they know people are watching, oh yeah. They're adorable. Hope and Winter were really cool as well. That was really fun because there was like a part where you could go underground and do like the big circular windows so you could watch Hope and Winter swim by. And it was after lunch, shortly after lunch, about 1:30. So we were really the only people down there at the time. And they were cleaning the windows. And so we started mimicking like the action on the window of the guy next to us. And the dolphins came over and started playing with us. Hope and Winter started playing with our hands and stuff through the window. It was the best.
We got about 10 seconds to our back.
Wisconsin wakes up here. Back to Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
7:06 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hopefully you're having a great start to your Tuesday. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Jamie, it is time.
It is time.
Day 2 of our Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest. Your daily chance to win $100 and a Wisconsin Dells prize package. Plus, every entry puts you into the grand prize drawing. That's $250 in gas and $250 in groceries. That is a great prize. Jamie, everybody's on the edge of their seat.
They are. They're ready.
What
they
is
got their
the
app
first
ready.
word of the day?
The word this hour is free. Free. Free is the word you need to text us using your Civic Media app. Again, if you don't have it already, you can go to your Google store, your Apple store, download it for free. You're going to have multiple chances to win and even multiple chances to win throughout this hour and to qualify because this word is good until 8 o'clock this morning. Again, the word you need to text us using your app, free. Free. That is the word you need in order to qualify for cash and prizes. And who couldn't use a little extra cash and a few prizes right now, right?
Everybody, yes. So get that
Love
in.
it.
You have until 8 o'clock.
Look at the text coming in. Love it.
I love it too. We will. We'll keep reminding you until 8 o'clock. But free, as Jamie said, free. Free. So there you go. You know that. But what other do you need to know?
It's a wake-up call in more ways than one. Time for some you need to know.
Well, this is a nice way to start Pride Month, isn't it? An Appleton man was arrested yesterday, first day, after allegedly removing a pride flag outside the Outagamie County downtown campus and pouring gasoline on it. According to the county sheriff's office, the man took down the flag, placed it on the ground in a parking lot, and began covering it with gasoline. Deputies intervened and arrested the man before he was able to set the flag on fire. Suspect was taken into custody and booked into the Outagamie County County Jail. Authorities say the investigation remains ongoing. Seems pretty cut and dry. But county officials quickly replaced the flag and emphasized that the incident does not reflect the values of the community. Outagamie County leaders said they remain committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community and promoting inclusion, respect, and belonging for all residents. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show when we were talking about Pride Month. I can't understand why there are still such closed-minded people out there who feel the need to do this. There's no justification. Well, the Bible. No. That's not it. Because Jesus said, "Love everybody." So let's cut out the Bible stuff and just realize that there's some narrow-minded, really, really ignorant people out there. Because why else do you do this? What does it matter? I like, it doesn't affect you. Who cares? No. If you don't, listen, if you don't like gay people, lesbian people, anybody in that community, then don't be one. But they're not bothering you. Just by existing, they're not bothering you.
In fact, like everybody else, they're just trying to live the same life you are, right?
Right.
And they don't really need you to continue to point out that their life might be a little bit harder, or it's just a reminder of why we have Pride Month, or why we commemorate some of these different groups, these different organizations, these different minority communities. This is why, because
of people like this, and people have been marginalized and harassed for forever. Yes. And just because now all anybody is saying is treat everybody the same.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
It basically comes down to it. It doesn't matter racism, bigotry, homophobia. Just treat everybody the same. If you treat everybody the same, it's so much easier, because then you don't have to remember who you have to hate and who you have to treat one way and who you have to marginalize.
It's also easier when you just leave the house, because you don't have to ask any questions.
That's true.
Right? It's just easy. Just treat everybody the same, because when you leave the house, no questions asked. You go about your business. They go about their business. And everybody just copacetically mingles among the world. Life is hard enough.
But, Jamie,
I
can't wear a rainbow T-shirt or people think I'm gay. All right, Cletus, how many rainbow T-shirts were you wearing before? Well, I would never wear a rainbow T-shirt. Okay, then shut up.
In other headlines from Stuff You Need to Know, it turns out that beef prices have now reached record highs, with the average price of a pound of beef hitting $9.64 nationwide. Steak prices are up about 16% from a year ago, while ground beef prices have risen more than 14%.
Yes, they have.
Experts say years of drought have reduced cattle herds across the country. Higher feed costs and other expenses have made it difficult for farmers to expand production. Despite these higher prices, demand for beef remains strong. In fact, Americans continue to buy large amounts of beef, and demand is at its highest level in at least 25 years. Wisconsin has nearly 13,000 farms involved in beef production, but most are small operations with fewer than 20 cattle. An aging farm population is also creating challenges. Many producers are nearing retirement age, and the high cost of buying cattle makes it difficult for younger farmers to enter the industry. Experts expect beef prices to remain elevated for at least the next couple of years, because ranchers are rebuilding the herds, which takes time before more cattle actually reach the market.
I blame all those gym rats who need protein. Oh, we got to eat protein. A lot of protein.
First thing that goes through my mind.
Parker eats like a pound of beef just during the show.
That's not that far from true.
I know. You're all about protein and fruit snacks.
That's right.
That's what the young people run on.
Diet of champions.
That's right.
More as you need to know. Destination Door County awards $318,000 in grants to 5 projects to advance accessibility, history, and culture in Door County. Those groups are receiving a total of $318,852 in the latest round of Community Investment Fund grants from Destination Door County, the Peninsula's Visitor Marketing Bureau. The 5 new awards mean the program has contributed more than $3.7 million to 71 projects across Door County since it began these quarterly grants in May of 2023. Awards in this cycle, which is the 13th, went to a school district, a local government, 2 nonprofits, friends groups, and 1 nonprofit art organization. To be eligible for the awards, projects need to meet specific requirements because the funds for the program come from room tax collections that overnight visitors to the county pay at Destination Door County receives as part of its agreement with the Door County Tourism Zone Commission. Winning the grants this cycle are Southern Door School District, Gibraltar Historical Association, Friends of Plum and Pilot Islands, Town of Egg Harbor, and Friends of the Door County Park System. So congratulations to those groups on their big grants. Hopefully they use them well. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, absolutely. Door County. It's every time I hear a story about Door County, it just makes me think of the fact that I need to get back up there. It is a truly special, beautiful place.
You know, there's a lot of we could go broadcast from the Goats on the Roof joint.
We could.
We
could absolutely.
Get you some goits on the roof.
That's right. They have some good lingonberry jam over at the Goats on the Roof place, by the way.
Goats on the Roof. I can't remember the name. I just, and nobody needs the name. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Is it it's like the Al Johnson or something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, I was just there last fall, but there were no goats on the roof. There were fake goats on the roof, which was very disappointing for me.
The real goats were on strike. Interesting fact.
So.
They were they cut back on their hay and their feed because it was all going to Frank's Rabbit. So
I was so excited that there were just fake goats on a roof.
Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Parker.
Lingonberry. Get your lingonberry jam, folks.
There's another place too.
Yes.
There's one that's like a silo and there's a ramp that goes around.
Yes,
I saw recently.
Yeah. I've heard of that one. I haven't obviously ever been.
Figure out what that is.
Okay,
too.
figure that one out because we do have a bigger story that we got to get into this morning.
Bigger than pie?
Well,
Because
our story is not as good, but
all right.
I would rather talk about pie, quite honestly. Because
this is you're right.
Gross.
These are big.
This is pretty gross. So it turns out that the Minnesota Republican Party is taking a little heat right now because they had their state convention last weekend in Duluth. And after they took a moment of silence, I have to pause and choose my words carefully here this morning. They took a approved moment of silence for Derek Chauvin. If you remember that name, he was the former Minneapolis police officer convicted in the 2020 murder of George Floyd. Now, this tribute, Brian, took place during the party's convention, and there are reports that a delegate proposed this moment of silence from the convention floor, and it was approved by attendees through an informal vote. And leaders at the convention, and we're talking about the state Republican leaders, then conducted a brief 10-second moment of silence for Derek Chauvin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, a spokesman for the Minnesota GOP said that in an email that, quote, the moment of silent prayer was a spontaneous motion brought forward from the convention floor and was not held at the direction of party leadership, including the Rep. Danny Nadeau, who the Reformer newspaper reports had earlier asked the delegate not to bring the motion forward. So it doesn't matter whether it was there or not. The fact that there are some people who would have the audacity to do this, to look at a man who's been convicted of murder, who we all watched him kill George Floyd. Now, if you want to argue about what happened afterward, or if you have strong feelings on that, that's your right. But to look at this and somehow treat a murderer as someone who is due the respect of your political party, and then wonder, gee, how come people don't respect the Republican Party anymore? I don't know. Maybe this.
Chauvin is currently serving more than 22 years in prison. He was convicted by a jury of his peers on second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. That was all in state court. And Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, as you can imagine, he led the prosecution of the Chauvin case. He has strongly condemned this tribute, as we'll call it. He says that honoring Chauvin was hurtful to Floyd's family. It's disrespectful to the law enforcement officers who serve honorably. And it also ignored that the verdict was reached by a jury and upheld through the appeals process, because Chauvin has appealed multiple times where that conviction has been upheld each and every time, and he has not been released from prison.
Hey, dude, we saw you do it.
Right.
We all saw you.
Right. Yes.
It's not one eyewitness, Idija. The world is the eyewitness to your crime.
When did we start normalizing these things, though? When did we start normalizing that full murder in public view was okay? Because
the murder became a political volleyball. It was, first it was there's outrage that somebody had been killed. Then it's victim blaming. George Floyd's record and George Floyd this. Then it was, look at what these protesters are doing. And so instead of looking at this as what it was, police misconduct and murder, it turned into, now it's going to be a political statement. It should, the only political statement that should have come out of this is police reform. We must have police reform.
Yes.
But it turned into us versus them. It was look at what the Democrats and the liberals are allowing to happen in our cities. They're cordoning off areas to protest, and yes, you know why? Because then the Black Lives Matter thing started. Why don't all lives matter? I don't know. If you make that argument, you deserve a crack in the back of the head. But that's when it all happened. That's when things just. Well, listen, we love to get you all worked up and then say, hey, Swiper Stay's coming up next on Daybreak here on the Civic Media Network.
All right.
I saw the exasperated look on your face, Parker. He's going to miss it again.
He's going to miss it.
He's going to miss it.
He's going to miss it.
Miss it. Noonan.
Noonan. Miss it.
Miss it, miss.
Noonan.
I did not miss it. Yeah, that was disgusting.
And then for them to be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Why are you making such a big deal out of it?
What are you talking about?
It's a big deal.
It wasn't organized. We just decided to do it in the
What's wrong?
It was only 10 seconds.
It's
That's what I
America.
heard.
Wasn't
That's
even
what I
a
saw-
full moment.
That's what I saw a quote from one of them. They were like, it was only 10 seconds. I can't remember which of the GOP legislators said it, but literally one of them was like, well, I don't know why people can't. It was only 10 seconds.
Shouldn't, they didn't have.
'Kay.
Next, they're going to do it for the guy who killed the Democratic Congresswoman and her husband.
That would check.
That's who else is next? The ICE agent who shot everybody.
That'll be one.
That's going to be one because they've been targeted, weaponized.
I mean, that would be like, essentially, like if you're in Wisconsin, that would be like the GOP having a moment of silence for Kyle Rittenhouse, right? I know he wasn't convicted, but he still,
He should have been.
the GOP feels like he's been victimized, right? And so it would essentially be like the GOP here holding a moment of silence for Kyle Rittenhouse for 10 seconds.
And the Slender Man girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the Slender Man girls.
How do you?
One of them escaped not too long ago.
Yeah, they
and was
caught her though.
re-caught. Yeah.
They caught her.
They always do.
She ain't that slick.
They'll get you.
Yeah, you can't run forever. Unless you're DB Cooper.
That's actually good. That's really true.
That's a good point.
Right? Hey.
15 seconds to our back.
Let's break out of the bubble and see what's happening out there in pop culture. It's Swiper Stay on Daybreak.
7:22 right now. We hope that your morning is going well. It is time for Swipe or Stay. Our senior producer, Frank, is going to join us now because we are going to talk a little less politics and more about pop culture. And Frank, how are you today?
I'm good. I think we've got some pretty good stories today.
Okay, good.
I like the lineup, top to
All right,
bottom.
We're ready.
let's
I think
let's
we're ready.
see what we got.
Oh man, is this not working? There we go. Hey,
Got some really
we're
good
working.
stories. I'll
Let's
tell you
go.
tomorrow.
Boy, that was
Man, what
anticlimactic.
a-
Okay.
Man,
All right.
A-list
take two.
artist. Shut up. A-list artist drops surprise track for upcoming movie.
Oh, I know that
We
story.
know what it
Yeah,
is.
Go, yes,
Stay.
stay. Let Frank have his moment.
After yet another series of Easter eggs presented like a suspicious countdown on the singer's website and billboards around several cities around the world, Disney and Pixar have confirmed that Taylor Swift is releasing a new original song, I Knew It, I Knew You, for Toy Story 5.
Wow.
Was anybody surprised by this?
Only Woody
No,
and
but
Buzz.
look, it's all in levels, right?
Sure.
There's certain fans, like my wife, that notice the background to the 1989 Taylor's Version album on Spotify being changed from seagulls in the background to Toy Story clouds.
Sure.
Really?
And yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
This is a glimpse into the Taylor Swift fandom. This is what she does, is she does stuff like this
she does.
to get the internet in an uproar.
Good for her.
And then they
Whoever's
confirm it.
behind her stuff, that's very clever. Very smart.
She's very good at the marketing of herself. I mean, she's better at laying these Easter eggs for this, though, than anybody will ever find out about this upcoming wedding. It's
wedding. Listen,
I think she's
Toy
better
Story
at
5 is
going to
make her a lot more money.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's what Pixar was hoping. I mean, if you've got Taylor Swift promoting for you, do you really need a marketing department at that point?
No.
Because how many people are going to go just to hear the Taylor Swift song in the theater?
Of course. A ton.
I'm going to go because
Frank will be there.
Toy Story is my favorite
I
Disney
love
movie,
Toy Story.
period.
Oh, Toy Story is one of my favorites.
I've seen them all, Frank, just so you know.
Yep, they should have stopped at 3. Anyway,
Yes.
the song is dropping this Friday. The movie's going to release on June 19th.
Are we going to feature it on Swipe or Stay?
Of course.
All right.
Okay.
That's
All
what we
right.
do here. Taylor posted saying, I've always dreamed of getting to write these characters who I've adored since I was 5 years old watching the first Toy Story movie. I fell instantly in love with the movie when I was lucky enough to see it in its early stages, and I wrote this song as soon as I got home from the screening of the current movie. And don't worry, everybody that's a Taylor Swift fan, she's currently selling pre-orders for the single.
Oh, of course
And
she
there are
is.
3 different variants you can purchase.
Stop it. All right, that's where it gets a little
Because
like.
not only does she market the movie well, she also markets herself well.
What kind of variants? Acapella,
There's
hip-hop,
CDs.
and
No, there's an acoustic version and a regular version.
Okay.
And there's 3 different CD covers.
Oh,
They're
different
collectible.
art.
Oh my
Love it. Okay.
Okay.
This is what
All
she
right.
does. She's a
And her
mastermind.
fans-
Good for
and
her,
And her fans will buy all 3.
Now,
We do
everybody,
not.
I love that everybody keeps saying she. The Taylor Swift machine is doing. I mean, Taylor Swift is very talented. I don't doubt it, but she's not talented at all these aspects. She's got a machine that's working to keep Taylor Swift the brand alive.
No, her publicist Tree Payne is truly a mastermind. I don't know what she gets paid. It's not enough, but if you want to go down that rabbit hole, go for it.
And isn't it true that Taylor Swift's dad still makes a majority of decisions and has to be involved in a lot of that?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I know
All right.
he was an early investor in her
Sure.
career, monetarily speaking.
All right,
so
we've got
that
more stories.
Yes.
Right?
Could be.
Okay.
Former Wisconsin Badger joins network television.
Stay. It's painful.
I'm going to swipe. I want Parker to get involved in
What do
this.
you mean it's painful? Stay. I need to hear this explanation now from Jamie.
CBS Country, let's ride. As Russell Wilson would say, former Wisconsin Badgers quarterback Russell Wilson has announced that he's joining CBS Sports. It's important to note that Russell Wilson has not officially retired from the league.
I was going to say, I thought.
Yes, he has. He just doesn't know it.
He was offered a backup role to Geno Smith with the New York Jets just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Now he's going to replace Matt Ryan on the broadcast panel that includes James Brown, Nate Burleson, and Bill Cowher as Matt Ryan returns to the Atlanta Falcons as the team's president of football operations.
Huh.
Is he going to be as cringy on that as he
Yes.
has been on other things? Okay.
You,
All right.
what a rhetorical question that was.
Yeah, probably.
Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer?
Oh, no.
Ooh, we don't have time for that. Parker's going to give me wrap-up signals.
That's one of Parker's hot takes on the weekends.
That's true.
We'll come back to that. Love Island USA contestant dropped for language.
Oh, I've never seen a Love Island any country, but I'll stay.
I like Scandal. We're almost out of time. Stay.
This is a quick story. We'll wrap up here. Love Island USA booted season 8 contestant Vasana Montgomery after 2 videos circulated online of her allegedly using the N-word.
Oh, no.
Oh, and that's how you get kicked off a reality show.
Wow.
This comes right before the premiere of the show, which happens to be today. In the Peacock cast announcement teaser, she said, "I think I'm the full package. I own a business. I live alone. I have a dog. If you were to ask my friends what my type is, they'd show you the world map."
Oh.
But
That
only the
didn't
white
age
parts
well.
of the map.
That did not
Scandinavia.
age
That's
well.
what I like.
It did not age well, but I like a girl with some delusional confidence.
I'm an entrepreneur, a dog mom, a racist. What? Huh?
What was that
I'm the
last one?
full
Nothing.
package.
Let's do the show.
Never mind.
Never mind. Anyway, that's Swiper Stay.
Wow, thanks, Frank. Giving us a little reality ending. Now, here's some reality. How much has your health care gone up, and is it affecting your health? We'll talk to you about that after this on Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. Wow. They don't vet these people beforehand?
They do, but if somebody comes out with some video that, appeared on Twitter 10, 12 years ago, it's all about, look, as the youth say, you got to watch out for your ops. Right,
There's
Parker?
a lot of ops out there,
There's
Frank.
a lot of ops out there.
A lot of
and
ops.
if I was a hater
Coming at you.
and I was
the
like,
hater's
yo,
gonna
this
hate.
girl sucked in high school, I've got a video. Let me send this out.
That's true. Okay. All right.
And then they start using some words.
Wow.
Yeah, when you start to, it's. I've tried to say this or figure out. I'm just happy there was a lot of nefarious acts I did when I was a youngster that I'm glad there were not cameras around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cancel myself right now.
Tomorrow there's a video
thing,
of Brian
like,
doing
shenanigans.
something.
Like
Yeah.
there's a whole subsection of the world that will never know life without a camera always on them, right?
Yeah,
like
this
that's
sucks.
It's actually depressing.
yeah.
Well, I only half jokingly say this. I think that's part of the rise in anxiety in children because now we have
Of
these
course.
video monitors. So even when you're an infant, you are constantly being monitored.
Yes.
You're being
Yes.
watched.
Somebody sent this videotape in of Brian Noonan doing something nefarious, but the footage was too grainy to make
'Cause it
out
was
what was happening.
It was one of those old timey,
That's what I'm.
the flickering yellow light. We can't tell.
They
Is he
shot
having dinner
King
or did
Kong
you just
off
kill a
this camera.
child? There's
What's he doing? I don't know. I can't tell.
He might be wrapping a Christmas gift or disemboweling a goat. I'm not sure.
I was always very happy that, like, when the big camcorders of the 80s came out, that my parents never got in on that trend. They just didn't care. They were like, no, we don't need to record every waking moment.
We have
There's
a box
some
of home
things.
movies,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, but there's no sound on them, and we
so
never
they're
really had.
they're not talkies?
They're not
No, they're
talking.
just-
The talk.
no talkies. They're
The
not
talkies one invented that. He was a big
That's-
silent movie star.
And we stopped watching them because the piano got
See?
sold. So there could be. Let's watch the movies.
Piano in the background.
Call George to come over and play the piano for us. Yes.
It's just like Tom and Jerry.
Get a
music.
warm buttermilk. It's time to watch the movies.
I poured myself a nice sarsaparilla and sat down.
But yeah, we videotaped it a lot with Molly. They're just boxes of tapes. We never. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, but one day you break them out and you watch them as you're older.
I don't think
But
I
now
have
you have
anything
to-
I can watch them on.
I was going to say, but now you have to convert them all to digital, which costs like a ton of money.
Yes.
You wanna
Oh, we had
convert
that
it.
done for some gifts. Oh my God. It
I'm
is
sure you could
expensive.
pull up a VCR somewhere.
Yeah, but I have a lot of them are the mini, the
Minis.
small. Yeah. the
Oh
mini
yeah, you
VHS
get up one of
tapes.
those VHS tapes where you like plop the
Put it
small
into the
tape in.
VHS.
Oh,
We got a couple of those.
I don't even have a VCR anymore.
We have a VCR player or VHS player still. Yeah.
I have a DVD player
If it works.
on one
for a long
TV.
time.
Remember when Blu-ray was all the rage?
Oh, that's the DVD player I have left. It was Blu-ray. Oh, and I got some Blu-ray movies. It's like, really? Okay.
Why was everything blue? It was Bluetooth and Blu-ray. Those came up at the same time, yeah?
Blue Bayou.
Deep questions from Parker.
Why are things blue? Today. Is that the rule now?
Blue. What are
we doing?
That's the rule. That's the goal now.
To be blue. Everything's blue.
And I'm supposed to be attracted to this?
I'm supposed to be okay with everything being blue? LeClaire Creamery is the silo with the goats.
That's in. Oh, that's over by
Malone. It's by
a creamery?
Winnebago.
Ice cream, probably.
All right, I'll send the email out. Show trip.
Beautiful.
Door
10
counting,
seconds till we're back.
Holiday Road.
All facts, no fiction. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
7:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you're listening in Madison on WMDX, in Wausau on WXCO, or in La Crosse on WLCX, we appreciate you being here. Parker did a little research for us.
Yes.
We were talking about the goat farm that's got like the spiral staircase, a little bit like the L. Johnson Swedish restaurant in Door County. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, Parker, the LeClaire Creamery.
LeClaire Creamery.
All right. It's also a cheese shop, a cafe, and a goat farm, and it's actually it's right on a lake between Milwaukee and Green Bay. So if you want to check it out, they do have like a spiral staircase for goats. That's what I'm seeing right here. So that's kind of cool.
We need to get a Daybreak RV. Somebody who's listening who has RVs. You can wrap it as Daybreak and your business, and then we'll just drive around the state doing shows like
That's
gypsies.
Right. We will.
We'll just show
Wouldn't
up.
that be fun?
It would be great.
So
what are you guys doing?
So
We don't
fun.
tell anybody. We just show up. Where in the world is Daybreak?
And we're not like the white van. You can actually come up
yeah.
to us.
Yeah, it's not a scary. We're not serial killers.
We're not
or
scary.
We're
not
clown
scary.
ice cream men who are going to do
we're
untoward
not scary.
things.
We promise. We promise. In fact, we're so not scary that we're going to give you a chance to win right now with our Accelerate Your Summer
nice.
Text to Win multi-state contest. This is your chance to win $100 in cash or a Wisconsin Dells prize package. Plus, every time you entered, you are put into the grand prize drawing for $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. And you have until 8 o'clock to get us this hour's word. Brian, what is that word?
That word is free. 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 Like free money that you could win on our Accelerate Your Summer multi-state text to win contest. See? Free. Free. You have until 8 o'clock to get that word in. More words throughout the day. So keep listening to the Civic Media Network and your favorite station on that network.
That's right.
And then you get to win.
And use your app to text us right now.
Yes.
You have until
my
8 o'clock
gosh.
to enter.
The app, Jamie, the bane of my existence, only because I can't believe everybody doesn't have it yet.
Right?
So
it's
that is
free,
why.
People. It's a free app.
Just get it. Just put it on your phone. You got a million apps.
You can
Add the
listen
Civic
to
Media.
us. You can listen to all sorts of music stations across the state. And now you can enter to win some cash too. So it's good. Free
We're giving
again
back.
is that word.
That's what we do.
That's what we do here.
All right. Well, we're not giving back, unfortunately, is healthcare. We would love to be able to give out healthcare money for people, but because, the costs have gone up everywhere, we can't. Healthcare costs in Wisconsin are rising much faster than wages. You probably know this. What you might not know is that because coverage is harder to afford for many families, some people are not going to the doctor. So a new UW-Madison report found healthcare costs in the Midwest have increased about 140% since 2000. Wisconsin household incomes have only grown about 83%. I can't do math, but that is a lot of percents that are in the gap between wage earnings and growth and health insurance growth. And because of that, we've talked about this before, people are dropping their health care and not going to the doctor. So things are not looking good as far as researchers who say Wisconsin hospitals charge private insurers some of the highest rates in the country compared to Medicare, helping drive up premiums and out-of-pocket costs. So people are saying, I would rather just roll the dice because I can't afford my premiums. I can't afford these copays. I can't. And you go to the doctor and you know you have insurance, and yet you still get hit with a giant bill. You're like, I'm not, how did this all go up? I'm not making any more money.
Like we literally, we talk about this a lot. We literally live in a world where we have to choose if we take care of our health or if we eat or have a house, right? I mean, that's essentially what we're doing.
It's horrible. Yes.
I mean, we're supposed to be. The thing that always gets to me is everybody touts the fact that, we talk about immigration because this is where people want to come. It's free. Life is going to be better here. And I understand that for a lot of people, depending on where you're coming from. But when you really look at how we take care of our own citizens, it's not great when we're making them choose these types of situations, and we can't even give them an affordable wage so that they can then afford insurance to take care of themselves. It's a sad state of affairs when you look at it in those terms. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer about it, but literally, you're dealing with your mom and having to move her. I deal with my mom on a daily basis and her health, and the fact that she lives on my dad's Social Security because she always took care of businesses but didn't take pay. And so she lives on my dad's Social Security. She has to make her ends meet between rent, all of her medicines, her Medicare, which has gone up over the last few months, and the fact that, at some point she probably needs food in there too. And she has a pre-existing condition with congestive heart failure. So, I mean, these are the realities that we live in.
We see that with not only people's health, we see it with our veterans, we see it with children and their need to eat, God forbid. So it's for the land of opportunity and the quote unquote greatest country in the world. We really don't live up to a lot of those monikers.
No.
We put profit before everything else. And I'm not anti-profit. I'm not anti-business. No. I think everybody, if you can make that money and if you can be a success, good for you. I really don't harbor any grudges.
No.
I think everybody needs to be, going back to our conversation about behavior, treat everybody the same. If I have to pay taxes, everybody else has to pay taxes. I'm not saying only the rich should pay taxes, but the rich shouldn't have more because they have the availability of lawyers and accountants and things. The system needs to be fixed so that everybody's out there because it's an embarrassment to the rest of the world. It should be that we have people who have to decide between eating and having a place to live. And these are people who are working. That's what we talk about this all. These are not, if you go, well, they should just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get a job. These are people who have jobs. And guess what? Then their spouse has a job too. And they only have 2 kids, which is not exorbitant. And even if they had more kids, that's not the point. The point is they're working full time and they still can't afford to live.
Right.
Everybody goes through tough times.
And it's also our farming community. It's our self-employed. If you want to talk about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, people who have went out and done that and started businesses and also can't afford health insurance and are having to make these same decisions because they also have to feed themselves. They might have to have an employee or two to help them at said store or business. I mean, it is a never-ending vicious circle that we go through in this country. And it's one of those things, too, as I was growing up, my family owned a construction company. And eventually my grandparents retired and my mom and my dad branched out on their own. And I used to sit and listen to the conversations because they only had a crew of my dad and 2 others. And they did major projects, right? Where they did custom homes and they did all of these buildings. And they worked with some of the bigger businesses in the town that we were at in South Dakota. They had my dad and 2 guys, and the biggest concern that they had, and this was 30 years ago, We have to be able to pay them an affordable wage. And how do we pay their health insurance? Why my parents, as the owners, would choose to go without, so that those two guys would show up every day to go out onto that job and do that work with my dad. Because without them, he couldn't do the work. Right. And these are the decisions that, we're making. So it's not the people who are just, not working. That's not what it is. My parents worked really hard, and they had to make those decisions long before this conversation.
And to be honest, most people want to work. They don't.
Of course.
You may complain about your job, but you got to work. If you're self-employed, to your point before, trying to get insurance, if you're self-employed, and God forbid you're self-employed and you have a pre-existing condition through no fault of your own, that's impossible. For all the years I was self-employed, thankfully my wife worked at and she has diabetes, so she could never be self-employed or she wouldn't have any insurance. So she has to work at a big enough place that they cover insurance. It's when that's your driving decision on how you can live your life, it's a pretty sad state of affairs.
It is. It is.
But there's a lot of money keeping us from having a different healthcare system. And that money's not going away. And to the point of the Wisconsin State Health Assessment, I want to get to this because it's upsetting. Just under 1 in 5 Wisconsinites have reported having poor or fair physical health. But among the people with the lowest household incomes, that rate was closer to 1 in 3 because people are not going to the doctor. The report looks at how factors like income, housing, and the environment affect health outcomes in the state. Just over 10% of adults did not see a doctor when they needed to because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah. Let
that sink in for a minute. Now, it's about the same rate as it was the last time they did this assessment in 2020. 94% of Wisconsinites did have health insurance as of 2023. That was similar to the rate reported in 2020, but now 2023, that was 3 years ago. And things have changed a lot in these last 3 years.
Let me tell you, I know I talk about my mom's health a lot, but we live this every single day. This is what we live. She's got a bad heart. We know this. We know that there are times she probably needs to be in the hospital. And she called me a few weeks ago. She calls me frequently, and she'll say, my heart's really bad today, and she'll call me just to let me know. And I'll say to her, do you need to go to the doctor? Do you need to go into the ER? I'm not going to because I can't afford it. I can't do it. I have congestive heart failure, but I won't go into the emergency room, even though I know my heart is failing today, because I literally can't afford it. I'm just going to sit down here in my chair and take some deep breaths and take a nap. That's what she will tell me. And I will call you later so that you know I'm okay. That's what she says to me. And that's how she is operated, because she is so afraid that if there's not something seriously wrong with her at the end of that visit on Medicare, she is going to end up with thousands and thousands of dollars in medical bills that she literally cannot afford on her fixed income.
Right.
I mean, and that's just where we're at. And I'll be honest, as a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, while we ran our own businesses and I did some part-time gigs out of our home studio, there were times that, I'd be super sick. My kids were one thing. I always took them in. But if I'd be super sick, I'd be like, I'm just going to wait it out, because I know I don't have the money to pay for whatever this bill is going to be. And, and that is a minor incident, right? Like minor. We're talking viruses or whatever, something that probably needed an antibiotic. But so there are people who are making this choice with serious health issues. And literally, when we're talking about that, for some people, it comes down to survival. It's literally life and death for some people if they're having to make this decision because they can't afford to go in. There's no words for that.
No, and then you multiply your mom's case by how many hundreds of thousands across the country, and the fact that those, like using your example, well then not only are you affected because your health gets bad, then your employer's affected because you can't come in, and then somebody else might get the whole. It's a house of cards that we've all been told we have to play, and yet there's only one winner, and it's the insurance company.
Yeah.
That's it, in Big Pharma. But, all right, well, listen, man, we are upbeat today, friends. It is, oh, my goodness. Well, we will be back. What will we talk about then? Who knows? But you'll hear it on Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
Yeah, health insurance. It's always amazing to me the people who fight health insurance and, talk about socialized medicine. And I'm not saying that's necessarily the right path either. Yeah. I mean, at this point in the United States, what is really the right path? And the only reason that nobody will talk about that is because of the corporations, right? They don't want to give up the profit that they would be making off of a more socialized medicine. It's why everybody hated Obamacare too, because they saw it as that path to having a more socialized medicine.
It's all money. I don't know. There's a lot going on, and as we get ready to celebrate the 250th birthday, I'm not really festive. I'm not feeling very festive. Yeah, some days are worse than you know. What are you gonna do?
Yes.
You pray for November and hope things go the way we hope they'll go, despite all the cheating to the contrary, and then
right.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to being in Madison next week and doing some shows in studio.
Yes.
With everybody and going to the circus. Should be fun.
Next week?
Yes.
That is next week. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I guess a week from tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see me Wednesday morning, Thursday morning.
I don't know. I'll see you when you show up.
Wow. Good, because you're going to have to let me in.
I know. That's the thing.
I want you to tell me again the wrong floor to park on.
God, I'm not saying that I didn't do that. I did do that. It's just that confuses me.
It's all right. Listen.
You go in, and that's the first floor.
It is.
But
I
it's
understand.
The second floor.
It is the second floor.
It is.
Because
the signs are very confusing.
Around the other side of the building, there's a ground floor, which was actually
Yeah.
I think that's where I came in, the ground floor.
Yeah.
On it, I don't know which direction because I
get
get confused on the isthmus.
You got to enter on. You got to go through the entrance on Carroll Street.
Is that the one right next to the front door of the building?
No.
Like the corner?
No, that's around the other side of it. And there's
all right.
There's
I came in the one right near the door of the building. So
and then there's actually two doors down, and we can talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. 15 seconds till we're back.
From Lake Superior to Lake Michigan, this is Wisconsin's Morning Conversation. Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Civic Media Network. It is 7:52 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Glad you're here. Jamie, people only have about 7 minutes left.
7. That's it.
For this word for our Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest. Oh my goodness. Every day for the next week and a half, we're giving you a chance to win $100 and a Wisconsin Dells prize package. And then every time you enter, you are put into our grand prize drawing for $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. So that is a fantastic prize. But you have to be listening and you have to text in the word, which is
free. 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 That is the word you need to text us before 8 o'clock so that you can qualify this hour using your Civic Media app. Don't worry, though. We'd love to have you text in as many opportunities as you possibly can. You have another chance at 9 o'clock this morning and then multiple chances throughout the day. But right now, until 8 o'clock, free is your word to text in, F-R-E-E. So get that in because you can enter multiple times for all of those really great prizes.
Yes.
Very exciting stuff.
Free money. That's what we're giving away. But free is the word. It's sad news. It's an end of an era on Apostle Islands. An end of an era. Now, listen, I am well known with my struggle for Wisconsin names. And I will probably butcher this one too. The National Park Service is going to dismantle and remove the historic Shaquacaman Point Light Tower. Is that pretty close?
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
pretty close.
It's in the Apostle Islands. They've determined that the structure can no longer be safely preserved. It's a 42-foot lighthouse on Long Island. It's been battling shoreline erosion from Lake Superior for more than 100 years. That's a valiant fight. Officials say the erosion has now undermined the tower's foundation, creating a risk it could collapse into the lake, which I think would be more fun than watching it be destroyed. I'd rather have nature take it and reclaim it in a battle of wills between man and sea.
That's right. But this lighthouse has some historical significance because it was first illuminated back in 1897.
Wow.
And it helped, guide ships carrying iron ore and other cargo into the Ashland area during the height of the region's mining industry. And it featured, we're going to get really deep into the history
let's
here.
go.
It featured a powerful Fresnel lens that
Those
could
are
be
the best
seen
ones.
up to 16 miles away and was equipped with a 1,200-pound fog bell that helped ships navigate during poor visibility. Now, of course, over the decades, there's been a lot of attempts to save this particular structure, including shoreline stabilization projects, stone barriers. And then there was a 1987, basically 100 years after this lighthouse was built, this attempt 100 years later by the Coast Guard to move the tower further from the water, and that actually damaged the tower and only temporarily slowed the problem. This lighthouse was automated in 1964, which ended the era of having keepers at site. And today, only the nearby La Pointe light remains active. Now, my husband is a huge history buff. He loves lakes. And so have you ever been, now obviously this is not one you're going into, but have you ever had the opportunity to go into one of those old lighthouses to see the way they worked and how the keepers lived?
Yes, and it is talk about an isolated, solitary life if you were a lighthouse keeper. It would make some people crazy, but it's fascinating how these things work. And they are when you see one, you immediately go back to the past. It really calls back those memories of a different time and thinking about people being in there and what they were needed for. And,
and the importance of how we actually shipped goods in this country. Mr. Plow King over on our YouTube chat says, I hope they save the lens. Those things are cool. Yes, they are really cool. We were recently at a lighthouse not too long ago, and it was a very, as you said, very isolated, but it had been a family of a husband and a wife and their 6 boys in this 2-bedroom lighthouse. And it was crazy because they still had their original beds. Now, they didn't even sleep on mattresses. They slept basically on, it looked like a weaving of like leather is what it looked like in these beds. And their double bed was basically the size of a twin bed for the husband and wife, which might be how they got 6 kids. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
there's no, listen, and what are you going to, you can't get cable out there. What are you going to do for fun?
No. It was,
bear.
Absolutely crazy going through that lighthouse and just how tiny and narrow it is, right?
The people had to be very tiny, wouldn't you think?
They had to be super tiny, and their couches and everything. Like this is the tour guide was like, this was the grand couch, and I'm like, it looks like my armchair in my living room because it was about that size. So I always love that historical aspect of them, but in a couple of years ago, this particular lighthouse on the Apostle Islands had some state and federal officials do an inspection, and they officially agreed that the tower had reached the point where they couldn't preserve it anymore, and they had to remove it for public safety, which is why now it's an end of an era in that particular.
Yeah,
facility.
it's. I hope now. Mr. Plowking said he hopes they keep the lens. I was thinking that bell, that giant fog bell, should be on display somewhere.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a maritime museum that might take it, or just along the shoreline there, just make it as a marker for where the lighthouse used to be.
I have to wonder if it's already maybe been taken out of there, just based on what we know. The structure is, it's not in great shape. So you got to think that maybe they've already taken that size bell out.
Why do I see like 4 guys in a pickup truck taking it to sell for scrap metal somewhere? I always think we're like, come on, let's go. Well, we're getting the bell.
Hopefully some state and federal officials got involved and had a little bit more foresight than that. Hopefully.
Well, we hope. We hope. All right, listen, if you're on WMDX, we must say goodbye. You're going to be listening to Stephanie Miller next, or you could just follow us over on the Civic Media app and jump in there. Don't forget, you can always get our podcast on Spotify, so follow us there, and on Facebook and Instagram at Daybreak with Brian and Jamie. I am the Brian. She is the Jamie. This is Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
Okay.
I'm going to run to the restroom.
Sounds good.
Chad wants to know if it's your job to test the barometric pressure, Brian, by sticking one finger up in the air.
I'll stick a finger up, Chad, if you really,
Oh, if I am, not Brian.
If Parker, I was going to say, when did I stick my finger up in the air?
Yeah.
Parker always has to, which way the conversation is going to blow. That's what Parker is putting his finger up for. Oh, it's going more to the right. People are going to hate it. Oh, it's coming from the left. It's going to be all right.
Your internet has been a touch glitchy today, Brian.
I am not seeing it anywhere on this end. There's nothing. No. I'm not hearing any glitches. I'm not seeing any glitches. I am at 100% full strength on the correct network.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that we're going to be able to do. Okay. So I'm not going to try to troubleshoot anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no indication on my end that there's anything. It's in my headphones. It sounds super clear. I haven't heard any glitches.
Okay.
I'd blame StreamYard.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've got 2 computers running.
Yeah, I know.
And they're both fine.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Come on, man.
I know. I just got.
I'm high tech, brother.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. No, I'm not blaming you or chastising you. I'm just like,
I am waiting.
Listen, you're in the building where the whole board took a shit the other day, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
And I apologize for the language once again to the stream. Yep, just anytime I'm on, just hit the beep.
I was going to open up Clean Feed just to have it ready in case it did totally go, but I have just realized that I don't have that login info. That was all through Zommers.
Yeah, and I would have to shut down the StreamYard computer and run Clean Feed off of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can leave StreamYard and come back in.
Well, we've got a little bit of time. Why don't you try that, actually?
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Remember, it's your fault.
That's true.
Goodbye. We recommend you stay in the studio until all recordings is now.
No, leave. And now, live stream. We wait and just see. And he has returned.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Okay, we'll see. I don't know, man.
I wish I could say, oh, yeah, I'm seeing it, so I could troubleshoot from this end. But
That's what I was hoping for.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, what I do have strong internet, buddy. That's what I have.
That's true. You do.
Fast.
All facts.
Pay for that extra fast Xfinity.
Ooh.
The super duper. Well, because when I was working for Trivia Hub and hosting online games, we had to have the speed had to be.
Yeah, I suppose.
Speaking of that, I have to text Debbie now. I just thought that's another thing we have to remember is to cancel Xfinity at my mom's old place.
Oh, shoot, yeah. I'm going to go fill up my water because I don't think I'm going to make it through an hour of no water. Jamie, I'm sure that's like a Senate hearing or something, but in my head, it's a like town council meeting that's on the scripts, and I think that's a lot more fun.
I love town council meetings.
You get some interesting stuff.
Town council meetings are the best. That's when you really find out about the people who live in your town, too. COVID town council meetings were the best.
Oh, people lost their minds.
Oh, God. Have you ever seen that clip? It's an actual clip, and then Charlie Barron's like stitched it with I think it was Ohio. They were talking about fishing regulations. And they're like, well, you can't allow ice fishing because if you have ice fishing, then there's going to be sea shanties. And you know what happens after you have sea shanties.
No, what happens after
No,
you have sea
what
shanties?
happens?
Prostitution.
Well, that's true. I was going to say strip joints, but I'm glad you went all the way with prostitution.
This is a real clip.
Wow. That's news to a lot of ice fishermen. They're like, where's that? Where's that lake?
I missed that
Get on that lake.
Man, my lake is
10
boring.
seconds.
Want to join in on the conversation? Call or text 855-75-CIVIC. Now back to Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It is 6 minutes after 8 now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Glad you are here. So we've been talking a lot over the last couple of weeks about this tax proposal that the governor and Robin Voss and Devin LeMay put together. And, it was going to fund some schools and everybody was going to get a little cash back. And some people were like, ooh, that sounds great. And other people went, no, that's not good at all. And then the Senate said yes, or the Senate said yes, the House said no, or vice versa. I get confused.
Vice versa. Senate
vice
said
versa.
no,
House said yes, Senate said
yeah.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then it went away. Then the Legislative Fiscal Bureau came out a couple days later because a poll came out right after the thing got the proposal got defeated, and most people said, "Oh, you should have passed it." And then the fiscal report came out a couple days later. Went, well, actually, had you passed it, we would have had to spend an additional $3.5 billion over 4 years, and that would have left the state with a $2.95 billion deficit. And people went, oh, hold on. Yeah. But now, Governor Evers and Robin Voss want a new vote on this deal. And the Senate is saying, yeah, we're not going to agree to this. Jamie, why must we make things so complicated here?
I'm not sure why we're making anything complicated with this because Senate Minority Leader Dianne Hasselbein has come out and said that her chamber refuses to come back into a session to take up this package that died in the Senate just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
All the Senate Democrats and 3 of the Senate Republicans voted against it. And she went on to say that, she actually came to this conclusion after she spoke with Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMay, who controls the chamber's schedule. Here's my thing with this. Is there something new that we didn't know? Has there been amendments made to this bill, or
Right.
is it just the governor and Robin Vos deciding, well, let's give it a
Let's
shot
try it
once
again. Because they saw the poll numbers, and that's our question to you. Now that you know how much the proposal would have really cost the state, you've got a much fuller picture. Does that change how you feel about this proposal? And do you think there should even be another vote on this tax deal? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Yeah, did they? Because one of the big gripes was that it was all done behind closed doors. So if there has been an amendment, it would be behind closed doors again.
Doors.
And I didn't mind that part of it because the open doors have been debating this forever. I didn't mind that they brought a deal to the floor that had been negotiated in private. But now we see, one, it's been voted down. Two, we see the actual cost, and that, at least for me, I'm not too proud to admit that's when I changed because I was for the initial proposal. I thought compromise is good, and we got to take short-term wins over long-term battles. Then all of a sudden, the actual price tag came out, and I went, "Oh, that's not what you sold us.
No,
this is a whole different bill of goods." And I'm glad it got defeated. So why come back? What are you going to do? What do you got for me now?
It doesn't sound like anything. It just sounds like they're going off of the momentum of the Marquette polling. And by the way, you're right. Initially, people who participated in that Marquette poll, 80% said that they, would have liked to see this surplus bill pass. Once they found out about the $3.5 billion deficit over the next 4 years, it's still a high number, but that support drops to 69%. So it's still high because people are looking at property taxes. They're looking at maybe not having to go back to the polls for a year or so to vote on another school referendum, because nobody wants to be the bad guy and be like, look, I've done all I can. I can't allow my school taxes to go up, but I really need kids to have education. Nobody wants to make that choice in the voting booth. Nobody.
And people liked the idea of getting a little cash back. It was,
of course,
granted, it was a very small percentage. It wasn't going to really make a huge difference. But if one day you get a check for $300 or $600, if you're a couple, you get that in the mail, you go, oh boy, that pays the groceries for the month, or that's whatever it is.
Alicia, chiming in on our YouTube chat this morning, says, why are we trying to go for the same bill? Like, learn a lesson, make a better deal? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at on the whole thing.
Alicia with her common sense.
It doesn't sound like the Democrats are going to change their minds on the Senate side and all of a sudden be like, a $3.5 billion deficit, not a big deal. Let's just pass. That's not happening. Nobody's passing that on the Senate side. No. It's still going to get hung up. The thing that I think bothers me most about all of this, and I keep going back to this and I can't get rid of the nagging feeling in my head, Tony Evers, as governor of this state, whether you agree with everything he's done or not, he's been fairly measured in how he's responded to things, right? He's put a lot of thought in. He has made sure that Democrats and Republicans could come to the same table when appropriate, when needed. He has been that type of governor. And even Republicans can't actually deny that he's been like that, and they don't actually deny that he's been like that. Why this bill? Why, on his way out of office, is this the bill he's hanging his hat on? And that's what I can't get out of my head, because this is not a great bill. No. And this is the one that he is adamant needs to get passed. And that is what I can't rectify in my own brain. Why this bill? Why this particular moment?
It's probably with Vos and LeMahieu too. This is a legacy move, because we know all of them are done at the end of this term.
Sure.
So they leave with being the guys who funded schools and gave Wisconsinites breaks on their property taxes. They didn't leave. They left the state better than it was, because now, the property taxes will not keep skyrocketing and be one of the highest in the nation. Mm-hmm. So it's a way for them to leave on a bipartisan note. Their final act is working together after all the years of discord between them. they came together at the end to produce something that actually helped all the people of Wisconsin.
Because there were some good things in the bill. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there weren't a few good things that popped up in that bill. Here's the thing that I guess, again, that I keep going back to. You were leaving the state with a $2.5 billion surplus, right? And
right.
This has been the negotiating point. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, yeah, heck with it. We're going to just leave you with $3.5 billion in the red when I actually gave you a surplus and left you on good terms? Like
Alicia sent a message saying, hey, there was a lot of good stuff, just like you did, Jamie.
Yeah.
And yes, I know. I was all for it until we got the actual receipts.
Right.
And then I went, no, you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell us that, like you said, Jamie, all of a sudden we go from a surplus to a deficit.
Right.
And we blow through all of this extra money. No, you're putting us in a deeper hole than we're already in with a very short-term fix. And if that Legislative Fiscal Bureau report had not come out, I still would have said this should have passed. And I would probably be on the side of the governor and Robin Vos saying, yes, let's get back in and try to hammer this out before we're done. But no, now it comes across as the most fiscally irresponsible proposal I've seen in a long time.
And it feels very not Tony Evers-esque, right? Like it really does to me. And look, I'm not going to sit here with my rose-colored glasses and be like, oh, our governor's perfect. No governor's perfect, right? No governor's perfect. I understand that. These are also elected politicians who are also human. They make mistakes. Sometimes the judgment is off. It's hopefully why they have good people around them to help combat some of that, right? So I understand that. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that. It feels very off for some reason to me. And you're right. Maybe it is a legacy thing. But to go out knowing that you could leave a $2.5 billion surplus to potentially leaving the state in debt by $3.5 billion, I don't know. It feels
I find it
like
also
the wrong hill to die on to me.
Yes, and going with what you're saying about it being a little, and I'm going to use the colloquialism for the kids, Jamie, because we talk to a lot of young kids. It seems a little sus. What Parker always perks up. Oh, look at the old man has a word I understand.
Never sure if he has to double check he's using it right with me.
No, I'm using it right. One I know. But the point is, were they hiding this fiscal bureau report? Did they know? They had to know this beforehand. Somebody had to crunch the numbers. So you were hoping, and I don't know, this is conjecture. Were you hoping to get a vote through before people found out about this report and have it passed before we knew how much it was actually going to cost us? Or were you, I can't believe Tony Evers, Robin Vos, and Devin LeMahieu are stupid men who wouldn't have checked the math. I don't believe that. So something is, there's something weird there, right? We should know.
This is where, I know there has been all this discussion about the surplus, right? There's been so much discussion about the surplus. There's been so much discussion about the surplus. There's been so much discussion about this bill. There's been so much discussion over the last few weeks about, who's going to control this surplus? Will Tom Tiffany get to control it? Will a Democratic governor get to control it? There's a new House. There's a new Speaker. All of that. The point that I can't shake, though, is this one. They had to know that they were actually putting the state in debt. And I just, for some reason, I can't rectify it because it just feels very off for a fiscally conservative Robin Vos. It feels very off for a very measured Tony Evers. And that's what I keep going back to. I've read all the discussions. I've listened to all of the discussions. But at the end of the day, it just feels like this is the wrong, literally, as I just said, the wrong hill to die on for all three of these men who are leaving office.
Even if this isn't the case, it has a very bait and switch kind of feel to it.
It does.
And I don't like that. I don't like feeling like somebody tried to dupe me. And that's really what everybody in Wisconsin should be feeling. Even if you still are saying, yes, the bill had a lot of good things and it should have been passed.
We all want property tax relief, right?
We all want property tax relief. We all want schools funded. We all want special ed to get funded. All of that. Yes, it's all great, but at what cost?
Right.
And if you give us the actual cost and we're able to make a decision that way, that's one thing. If you try to pull the wool over our eyes, then it's a whole other kettle of fish, and I don't like the way it smells.
I mean,
how'd you like that analogy? That's pretty good.
The other thing I keep thinking about is, was this a way for all three of these men to leave office by giving? Is this why they want it passed? Because by giving these rebate checks, even though they're not big, do they feel like this is a way of giving back to the Wisconsinites so that they go down from their political careers in like this bigger moment?
You
like,
know how short our memories are. Do you think how long do you think we're going to remember $300 when in 4 years we've racked up a $3 billion debt?
The only thing I can keep thinking of is all three men have a stake in this, right? They all have a stake in it because they all want either a Democrat in office again and a democratically run legislature, or they want a Republican governor with a Republican run legislature. It feels like it was a way, to me, this is just me, reading all of it and watching everything, it felt very much like all three men trying to buy off the voters. Remember,
yeah, but it also then, to your point, could be a way to scapegoat the other, because once the real numbers come out, Voss and LeMahieu could go, it was the governor, and Evers could go, so that the Democrats have their cover and the Republicans have their cover. There's way too much going on with this to figure it out. Right? Stop with the icky politicky. Icky politicky. Oh, the press has been banned again. Why? We'll find out after this Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
All right.
Boy, the more we peel away at that, the worse it seems.
I don't care. You can tell me anything you want about this bill. I can't shake the feeling that this feels so off for so many reasons. This is so unlike Tony Evers. For what we know of him in office, obviously none of us have sat in the room with him. None of us have been in the conversations. For the decisions he has made as governor.
Maybe this is a Tony Evers body double that's been swapped out after being kidnapped by the Republicans. That's right, Parker. The truth is out there, buddy. I'm the man who's going to uncover it or create my own.
This just does not feel like something Tony Evers would die on going out of office. And yet this is what he seems to be doing. Of course, he didn't say necessarily that I haven't heard him say that it should be brought up for a second vote. I've heard Robin Voss say that now.
Right. No, it was soundly defeated, Tony. What would the purpose be? What would the purpose be to come back and vote on it again? Other than for it to get beaten worse than it did.
It was debated, it was analyzed, and at the end of the day, if this bill still goes in front of the House and Senate, Assembly and Senate, it still is the same bill.
Yes.
It's still not any different.
Yeah, you haven't really done anything other than, well, now they've had more time to read it. Yeah, and they also had more time to figure out what you actually have to pay for it.
They had more time to read it. That doesn't mean they like it any better.
Right. Yeah, boy.
I actually can't even read any more about it because every time I read about it or I read somebody saying something else about it, I'm like, but why are we still, why is this the bill that you still think is the end-all be-all? And again, maybe it's because of the public perception. Because, again, with Marquette, it was 80%. And even finding out about the deficit, it only slipped to 69%, which is obviously way above average for anybody, doing your math.
All right. We got 10 seconds to our back.
Now back to more of Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It is 8:22 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. The Pentagon has barred journalists from its press office. How do you think the press should respond to this ban? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. I saw this headline, and of course, I don't believe all the headlines. I always have to, everybody has to read the stories. But it is what it sounds like. Once again, you know how much Pete Hegseth loves the press. He loves the press as much as Donald Trump loves the press, because the press has the audacity, Jamie. We do this all the time. We ask pesky questions. We try to get to the truth. We try to find out what's going on to share it with the American public. Sometimes there's very friendly press, and they don't ask the hard questions. They just compliment you on your suit or whatnot.
It gets really awkward when they do, though.
Oh,
because sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. It's awkward.
I feel bad for them. I'm not mad at them. I'm sad for them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are really a spineless flesh sack, and I don't understand it. Well, in another series of moves restricting media across the Pentagon, the Defense Department has declared that its press office is now a classified space, inaccessible to journalists. Well, it's not a press office then, is it? On X, acting Pentagon Press Secretary Joel Valdez confirmed the move, saying there was nothing controversial about it, and that it came because speechwriters who use classified material now are occupying the space. Well, how about give those speechwriters their own office? That doesn't seem to make sense. Where did they write speeches before?
Maybe that's not in an open room. I've been in a lot of those press rooms and media rooms over the course of time. They're usually just one big open room, and there's not a lot of privacy. Sometimes there's a door. Sometimes it's not even a closed door. It's just like a holding room, right? And so maybe there's somewhere in there that you could maybe put them or do something different. Just saying. And let's be real. I mean, this isn't an anomaly based on what the Pentagon has done in the past with the press. This is just a pattern that we've seen from them since Pete Hegseth became the Secretary of Defense.
Christopher is in Beaver Dam. He's listening on WISS. Says it's like the old episode of MASH. The general during a press conference says, "This is a press conference. What's with all the questions?"
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I love that. Thank you.
They don't. Yes, thanks, Christopher. They don't want questions. But yes, so they're lying again. The speechwriters aren't in the press room using classified information. The speechwriters are in there watching the speech that they wrote somewhere else, because there's not a chance that you're going to have computers open in an area. The speechwriters have been writing speeches in the Pentagon for a long time. Yes, maybe they are. Maybe they're sending all their speeches over, what's the app that Pete Hegseth was?
WhatsApp.
Was he on WhatsApp?
Yeah, Signal and WhatsApp.
The Signal,
yeah.
Yep. So
this
maybe that's how they do it.
administration loves those two apps.
I don't know. Well, this was reported by the Washington Post. It took place against a backdrop of escalating tensions between the U.S. media and the second Trump administration. They have played out both in the public arena and at times in court. You remember the Pentagon pulled everybody's press credentials who wouldn't sign a loyalty oath in October. Yeah. So most press outlets who had any sort of journalistic ethics at all turned in their thing. We're not signing a loyalty oath to you, you knuckleheads. And then the New York Times sued in May, for the second time in 5 months, arguing that a requirement that journalists be escorted while on Pentagon grounds violated the First Amendment and is an unconstitutional attempt by the Pentagon. So they're doing everything they can. One, because every time Pete Hegseth is asked a question, it is revealed how inept he actually is and unqualified he is for this office. And also, maybe they don't want to have to answer questions about why he has blocked all promotions of black and female officers in the Navy.
Right. Yeah.
So, those are pesky questions, Jamie. If I have to justify that.
And nobody wants to have to answer those, and nobody wants to have to get up to a podium and then call the press, say that the press is lying, even though there's paperwork saying that this has actually happened. Because that's essentially what's going to happen. Because it's a pattern, right? It's a pattern. Yes. And we've seen this pattern since the beginning of this administration. And most of us are never going to have the opportunity to walk through the halls of the Pentagon, That's why we depend on journalists, because journalists are covering the military. They help explain how our money is being spent as taxpayers, by the way, and what decisions are being made and how those decisions, like, blocking promotions of qualified black and female officers, might actually affect national security. Plus, not to mention the fact there's military families that probably want to know what's actually happening at the Pentagon. And also as the country of a whole. I mean,
you don't hide information from the public. That's not
No.
you work for us.
yes.
That's the ultimate thing. We have a right to know what's going on. We have yes, of course there's classified
There's
information.
classified,
Of course. We understand that. We don't need to know the operational
No.
specifics. We don't need to know troop movement and maps. We don't need to, but we need to know, why are we in a war? Why aren't you promoting certain people? Why are you barring the press from your meetings? Why are you so inept?
But this is how you get public skepticism. And then this is how all of those conspiracy theories start to grow and build as well, because there's not actual reporting coming from this administration or actual fact and actual news. So people have to assume that they just know what's happening, and then they make up their own theories based on what they're hearing from the other press junkets, the ones that are more friendly to this administration, coming out of the Pentagon or the White House or whatever it might be.
Is it time finally? And we've had this debate before. I understand that access is where you get the information, but if they're blocking your access, isn't it time for the mainstream press, the big networks and newspapers, to finally really speak out and start? We need to shine more lights on this, because they're not. The access you're getting is not helping. The access you're getting is worthless because the information is worthless.
Yes.
When does the cost of a college education outweigh the benefits? You tell us after this. It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. Ugh. Every time I see Pete Hegseth, I want to punch him in the face.
There's a video circulating today of him working out.
I saw that on the battleship. Oh, what a dork.
He was trying to do the same workout as the troops on the battleship. It didn't go well.
No.
He's not a very coordinated individual.
No,
and I can say that because I'm also not very coordinated. But I wouldn't also be having somebody video me trying to do the same things.
But he really thinks he's a tough guy and a war fighter. And he's a poser. That's all he is.
It was, Parker, if I find
it was that thing, that cross leg, whatever you call that. It was like, oh my God! I saw a meme where they compared him to Will Ferrell when he was doing the ribbon thing. It's like,
God. Hold on.
I got it.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I got it off YouTube.
And then he's
just take a little gander at that, there, Parker.
Imagine being in the service in the Navy and having him stand on your battleship and talk to you after that. It's like,
oh, he's really thinking about these grapevines.
Is that what you call them, grapevines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or karaoke is another thing to call it.
Yeah.
That's I've heard that. Yeah, he's a spaz.
Does his shirt say? Oh, okay, it does. Nice. His shirt says, "This is war."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a traffic cone that you're doing push-ups in front of. That doesn't seem like war to me.
No, he so badly wants to be taken seriously and be seen as a tough guy.
Well, he couldn't even do lunges. Oh, and he can't do planks.
Nope.
How old is he? Do we know?
Oh, I think. Let me look.
40s.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing like the little bits of white hair.
He's 45.
45. Okay. I'm seeing the little bits of white hair, and I don't think he's old enough to be at the point that he's trying to hide the changing hair color.
He can't do burpees either.
I'm looking at that right now, too. Oh, God, what did he just say to the camera?
Burpees are hard. He also can't run in place?
Just everything about him is horrifying.
Okay, you know what?
Burpees
I'll
are
cut
fun.
him some slack. He's actually being kind of funny here.
Okay.
He walks over to the reporters.
Does he
and
make fun of himself?
Yes,
he should.
does.
Okay.
He does. I will give him that. The fact that he did this, I think, is silly. But the fact that he actually had a little fun with it, I am okay with.
You know, and maybe here's the thing I'll say: he might have went in knowing he was going to totally suck at it. So
I don't know.
I don't give him much slack, but I don't know.
No,
or maybe by the end of it, he realized he better own it because he looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
During the burpees, he comes over to the press and he's like, "So this is me pretending that I actually want to talk to you guys right now. This is just me needing a break." Okay. I will cut you a little slack. You're a little self-aware, at least.
And maybe he started out not being self-aware,
I
but got his
think,
butt handed to him.
That very well could be.
I'm pretty sure that's, yeah.
I mean, there's a good chance that he started out thinking, "Oh, I'm the man.
I can keep up
do
with
this."
these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then got his butt handed
With his
with
"We
him.
the People" tattoo.
Yeah.
But imagine standing in front of him if you are a female member of the Navy and listening
know
to
how
him
anybody
talk,
does
knowing
it.
that he doesn't want women in there. He thinks you're only there because of DEI. If you're a person of color standing on that deck, he doesn't think you're fit to be promoted. And thinks you're only there because of DEI.
Oh, did you see that the transgender ban for the military?
Yep.
Made it through the appeals court, and turns out that action was not constitutional or legal.
Well.
Now, of course, they're going to fight it, and they're going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he said,
And-
see you at SCOTUS.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to push it.
If it's a good day for them, they might just not agree with you. Depends on the day. Yeah. It's like they have to, I don't know. I don't understand SCOTUS right now.
A little less than 15.
Fairly solid, better than expected. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
8:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you're in Appleton and Oshkosh, listening on WISS, or in Eau Claire on 93.5 The Tap, or in Wisconsin Rapids, listening on WFHR. We also can't forget WBZH up in Hayward. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, coming up after 9 o'clock, you're going to have another chance to qualify for our Accelerate Your Summer multi-state text-to-win contest. So be listening for the new word across all Civic Media platforms. Use your Civic Media app and be ready to text in and win. I love that. And, of course, we're giving away some cash and some really great prizes. Going to help you with some groceries, too, for our grand prize. So, all in all, not a bad way to spend a Tuesday, Brian.
Not at all. And I'm looking at this text that just came in. Now, we talked about the polar bears at the Madison Zoo almost 2 hours ago. And the text is just coming in. But how did you pronounce the zoo name? I admitted up front I wasn't sure.
You guys were saying it funky. It's Vilas.
Vilas?
Yeah.
Vilas?
I don't remember
All
what
right.
you said. You said something kind of funky.
Okay.
Villas,
well, thank
maybe.
you for the text. Thank
Vilas,
you for the
yes.
text this morning.
I would
neither
no.
one-
I want to. If I'm mispronouncing something, correct me.
Neither
that's-
one of us are native to this
Right.
area, so sometimes we're going to get things wrong. So we appreciate corrections, and we like to make sure we get things right. So we appreciate the text this morning.
And
thank you.
I'm glad you corrected me, but I'm always just going to go. You want to go to the zoo? That's
Madison Zoo. You want to go to
If
the
I'm-
Madison
well,
Zoo?
if I'm in Madison, it'll be the Madison Zoo. If I'm in Milwaukee, it's the Milwaukee, whatever
Zoo,
local
yeah.
zoo. If I say
Yes.
let's go to the zoo, figure it's the local zoo.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not going to go just on a whim on a Wednesday afternoon. We're not going to drive to San Diego,
Right.
or
Well,
San Diego.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. But literally, thank you so much
All
for
right,
the
Vilas.
text.
Yes, thanks.
Make sure you keep us on our toes, and make sure you keep us honest with our pronunciations. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and maybe if we had gotten more college education, Jamie. We both graduated from college, but we need a little more. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to afford it. Where's the diminishing returns? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Where does the cost of a college education outweigh the benefits? Like as you're looking, maybe your kids are getting ready to go to college. Maybe you went and you're saddled with a ton of debt, and now you're rethinking that point. The reason I bring this up, and in the whole scheme of things, the increase is not a ton, but
No.
the Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents are going to vote on a proposed 2% tuition increase for in-state undergrad students for next school year. If approved, it would be the 4th consecutive tuition increase since the 10-year tuition freeze ended in 2023. So 2%, not all that much. It's really going to increase in-state tuition by about $210 a year. And again, $210 is real money.
Yeah. Yep.
But when you look at the whole bill, you go, well, I'm already paying this much. What's another $210? Out-of-state students are going to see a 4% increase. Everything's going up. I understand that.
Yeah.
And I we all feel it. I wonder, though, at what point is education going to become so out of reach? Like we're talking about housing and we're talking about health insurance. Right. College educations are starting to get to that point, too. Now, there's a lot of great state schools that are more reasonable, and there's community colleges. There's other avenues. But if you want to go to a big-time university, if you were that smart and you were that,
Yeah. Well,
focused.
And let's be clear, depending on what UW university you go to around the state, your tuition will be a little bit different. But with that being said, this tuition increase essentially covers things like facilities, utilities, employee pay, student services, and they also have to stay competitive with other Midwest universities. Do you know why they're lacking that money? Because there's been a huge cut in federal funding for our universities, for our state-run universities. And so these universities are having to make decisions to make sure that they can still have really great education. And I get it. Things are not cheap. And this is only part of the problem with why our education is increasing in price. However, with that all being said, I think it answers a little bit of your question, because this administration has had a war on education. They don't want people to be educated, so they don't think it's important. And if they do, they don't want it going to public universities. They want the money going to more private universities because it turns out
they can control the message.
That's right. And private universities are also where sometimes, not all, depending on the university, but your more wealthy families will send kids.
Of course.
It's kind of like the same war
legacies.
It's legacies, but it's also kind of like the same war on public education versus charter schools or private education that the GOP has had on our entire education system.
And I know, I listen to what we talk about, and sometimes I'm like, are we being hysterical? But we're not. Because if you look at it, if you have an educated, well-fed, healthy populace, they're going to question things, they're able to make decisions, and they're able to vote. Well, they're trying to take away votes for many people. They're keeping us underfed because they're cutting school lunch programs, they're cutting help with SNAP benefits, they're cutting all that. Healthcare, we were just talking about the price of healthcare. If we're sick, we're not going to want to leave the house. We're not going to want to vote. We're not going to be out on the streets protesting. And if we're dumb and we continue to gut public education and cut funding to universities, we're not going to have the great minds that are going to perhaps replace the regimes that are in place to make our lives better. So I know it sounds crazy. And years past, it never would have crossed most of our minds. But when you start connecting the dots, and you go, why are they so fixated on this? Well, there's a reason. None of this is done in a vacuum.
No. And I think when I start thinking about, and even though this is a 2% increase, right? And on average, it's going to be across the entire system. UW says, including the tuition, the fees, room, board, it's going to be about a 2.5% increase on average across the entire system. But here's what I also think about. I think about college students and families who need to take out loans, because if you're taking out loans to go to school, which a lot of students do, that means that you're also, it means that you're taking on more debt when you graduate. Mm-hmm. And that then means longer interest payments, higher interest payments, longer payments, whatever it might be, which is just another problem with the entire education system, because at the end of the day, and we're going to talk about it in just a second, turns out that for our recent grads, there's not enough jobs to go around.
No. And if you remember, they're trying to change up the government loan programs for schools and privatize them. Well, somebody then is making more money off of that. And again, it's not you and I.
No.
It's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of whoever.
Corporations and CEOs and boards of directors and all of that. That's who's essentially making that money.
I always have to be careful when we start doing that, and I've said it a couple times today. I'm not one of these anti-corporation guys.
No.
I'm all for capitalism. I would like to be making more money, and I don't think there's anybody who could honestly say, yeah, I don't want to make more money.
I just wish that I'm not anti-capitalist.
There's a responsibility.
Yes, that's just it. My family has owned businesses my entire life. Some very lucrative businesses. They've been in boardrooms and things like that. But at the end of the day, they still actually cared about the people who worked for them, underneath of them, and the people who didn't make as much as them. And I think that's where the difference is. We have hit this level and echelon of this need for money and greed in this country that it's mind-blowing, and it's unfathomable to me that this is what is so important to a huge section of this country. Money and greed and always having more. And I understand that, more prerogative to you if that's how you want to live your life. I'm not going to judge that. But
I'll judge it. I'll judge it for you, Jamie. I'll handle all the judging here.
But at the same time, what is that getting us? It's making people who don't have that type of income poorer to a point where people are making really hard decisions. And it's not getting better, and I don't see it getting better. And even if this administration ends in 2 years, or even at midterms, because, there's a different Congress, I don't see that being fixed. And I certainly don't see it better. And I'm going to be clear, both political parties are not great at it right now.
No.
Neither of them are great.
Neither are great. I think there will come a time where there will be some kind of class war. Not a guns and missiles kind of war, but there's going to be some sort of revolt, because you can't keep creating a class of ultra rich and then have such a big class of struggling people. And it's not for lack of trying. I've said this, you've said this. People are working and they're still having to go to food banks. So there is going to come a time when enough is enough. Yeah. And hopefully it's in November at the ballot box. It might come. Who knows how it will present itself? But I do think there is going to come a time of reckoning where things have to be balanced out a little. I'm not talking about equity for across the board. Everybody doesn't have to make the same amount of money. This isn't. We're not talking communism.
It's not utopia.
No, we're talking about let's balance the scales a little bit so that people don't have to worry about getting their medicine.
Right.
Parker, real quick, you're lucky you have your first job. It's not AI. We've seen all these commencement speeches where AI people are getting booed and booed. It's not AI that is the true villain here. No. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, remote work is the villain. The more people that are working remote makes it harder for companies to hire entry-level employees, because entry-level employees historically have been mentored by older employees, and if everybody's working at home, there's no one to mentor the Utes, and the Utes then don't get a job, and once a Ute doesn't get a job, then they struggle for their whole career, because if you're struggling to find your first job, then all of a sudden you have slower career growth, you have lower long-term earnings, fewer opportunities later in your career. So AI is not the boogeyman.
No.
Me staying at home to work is the boogeyman. You're welcome.
Damn you, Brian.
In fact, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York actually found that remote work actually explains why 2/3 of young college graduates are unemployed since the pandemic. 2/3. Let's be real. I have a recent college grad. Parker, you're a recent college grad. It's brutal out there. It is brutal for job searching right now if you're in that category. And hey, guess what? Your tuition's going up. So when those student loans come into the that's right. When you have to pay those back, you're gonna not be making enough to probably pay those. And
Parker, do you want me to come in and mentor you a couple days next week?
Yeah, sure,
I'll mentor you. Oh, I'll mentor you. All right.
I want you to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Brian. That's what I want next week.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
So it's like this. We've talked a lot about these never-ending circles this morning, as far as the money to living ratio, and this is just another one of those examples for young college students, right? If you can't get a job and all of a sudden you got to pay your student loans back, you're probably not using that fancy degree. Been there, done that. Not
That's
judging
right.
here. You're probably not using that fancy degree because you got bills to pay.
Yeah, and everybody's working at home.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Thanks, Biden. I just throw that in because that seems to be the line, right?
From the
administration, we blame Biden for everything. You know what I'm going to blame him for too? Malls and curfews. Oh, Jamie, we got to get into it. People are going crazy at the malls, and we're trying to stop it. It's Daybreak. This is the Civic Media Network.
I just find this next story funny because I didn't even realize that malls were still a thing.
I the same way. I'm like, are that many people really going to the mall?
Yeah,
Good
I haven't
Lord.
been to a mall in a minute.
You know why I go to the mall? I go on Christmas Eve to pick up my Cinnabon. That's why I go to the mall.
I thought you go to the mall after you get done with the show, remote work and all. You can get right to it.
Right to my mall walking.
Do all
Me
this
and the other.
shopping.
Yeah.
Pick up some grannies. Do a little mall walking. Hit the Apple store.
It's hilarious.
Have an Auntie Anne's pretzel.
That's why I thought this story was funny. I was like, is this really that big of a problem?
That became a thing in Madison when I was in high school.
Was it really?
There was a little mall near
a
our
few
old
ones.
house. Same thing. A lot of teen takeovers, like the multi-city police responses.
That's not why it happened here.
I will say, the one thing that I will say is that's what I actually appreciate about the West Coast so much in California. Because malls are actually still a thing out there. Because a lot of them are like the outdoors and and they're gorgeous. So that's I always find it fascinating when we travel that direction and you see a mall because you're like, wow, this is actually what malls are supposed to look like. Look at all these people.
Like Oak Brook is a big outdoor mall here, and I was going to Warby Parker to get my glasses fixed, and I was shocked at how many people were in the mall. And it's outdoors, but they're walking around, and like the Apple store was packed, and
I know
Macy's had a ton of people, and they keep expanding, and they got a Nordstrom. I'm like, oh my God! And then the restaurant there, there's all the restaurants. There's a lot of people at the mall. Guess where I'm never coming again?
I was never a mall person. My friends when I was growing up, my friends that was the big thing, right? Like we lived in a smaller town, so they'd be like, "Ooh, we're going to go to the mall this weekend in Sioux Falls." And I was always like, "Really? Is that what we're going to do?"
Yeah, it is.
Because that doesn't sound.
Then I wouldn't. Now I might.
No, this is
now
why
you want
to
hang out with teenagers in the mall, weirdo?
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying.
See, this is why I also like shopping online because, and I can't try things on. That's why you order multiple things and know the store's return policy because then you just try it all out at home and then you return what you don't want. It's like leaving it in a dressing room, but then I get it. You like pay for it, but then you always get your money back. So I would much rather stand at home and stand there in my mirror going, do I like this? Do I not like this? Let me try it on again, than having somebody knock on my door. Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need me to get you a different size? No, I'm fat. What do you want me to say? Like, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I like ordering like 2 or 3 sizes, like you said. I try them on in my house. Go, oh, yeah, it's going back.
All right, we got 15 seconds to our back.
Oh, I can't wait.
Across the state of Wisconsin, Daybreak with Brian and Jamie is back.
Thank you so much for joining Civic Media Network, 8:52 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. Here's a question that comes right out of 1983. Hey, do you and your kids still go to the mall? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Or if the answer was no, when was the last time you were at a mall? And Jamie, you found this story and you were fascinated by it.
I did. Was fascinated by it because this isn't. I mean, like 90210, right? The original, not the reboot that they had on for a few years, is what brings back. And everything from the 90s is big again. So apparently, malls are making a bit of a comeback for the young folk. And it turns out though that because there's more young people congregating at the malls across the country are restricting accompanied teenagers because there's been a lot of gatherings, fights, shoplifting incidents, and also social media organized mall takeovers.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. We were talking about this at the break. I don't know how prevalent malls are, especially in the Midwest anymore. I know, like, on the West Coast, if you go to the West Coast and have a chance to visit, say, California, beautiful, big outdoor malls where people are hanging out. It still looks very much like what you used to see on TV in the 90s. That is what you kind of equate to it because you see people hanging out. They're shopping. They're doing their thing. It's not like the malls here where it's a closed building and you know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's a little bit mall-esque.
The trend went from like a shopping center, an outdoor thing, to the enclosed malls, and then it went back to these open-air malls. And I'm trying to think, even in Milwaukee, the malls that I used to go to around there are gone.
Right.
I'm out toward 94. There was is that mall still there in Madison? Out on
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We have the West Mall and the East Mall, and then, of course, you have the big outlet mall near
the outlet mall.
Johnson Creek. Yeah.
You gotta love an outlet mall. But, now you got all these. We used to live very close, within a mile of a smaller mall, but they had a few things. And at least 4 or 5 times a year, it was a multi-police response because something had gone out on social media and there were hundreds and hundreds of kids swarming the mall, running across the busy streets, creating a thing. So I don't, and I live pretty close to a mall. I know they have a sign. I go there on Christmas Eve to pick up my Cinnabons. And then if I order something from Penny's or Macy's, I go in the one door right by the catalog pickup corner. That's an old, the online pickup. I don't wander the mall like I used to back in the day. But they do have signs about unaccompanied minors after 6 o'clock.
Because a lot of malls are now requiring anybody under 18 to be accompanied by adult, often 21 or older during certain hours, as you're alluding to, especially on weekends and on school breaks. And owners of these malls say that these policies have helped reduce all of this disruptive behavior, the violence, the theft, the large crowds that make shoppers and employees feel uncomfortable, and now they can feel safer in their mall shopping experience. I've got to be honest with you. I haven't been in a mall in a very long time. The last one I was at, you wouldn't have, a disruption might have been pleasant because there was nobody in there. It would have been people milling around. I think I saw maybe like 3 or 4 people the last time I was in a mall. It was really kind of sad in that particular corridor. Parker, you're a young person. Are you milling around at the malls a lot?
I wasn't at all in high school. I haven't, but I might now. Like if I had a buddy coming into town, like, all right, let's just kind of dink around for a while.
I was never, even in high school, we were talking about that. My friends on the weekend would be like, we had to drive an hour to our closest mall.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
And I would be like,
that's crazy.
Well, it was South Dakota, right?
I know.
We're lucky we had population.
You can't, you can't spend the whole day shooting pheasants out of your car. You got to do something else.
This is true. They'd say, well, let's go to the mall this weekend. My mom's willing to drive us, And I'd be like, really? Why don't you let me sit here in the pretzel aisle by Auntie Annie's here, and I'll have a pretzel, and you come pick me up when you're done milling around.
Parker, this is going to surprise you. I'm old enough to remember when the first mall opened near my house. And
I thought you meant ever.
No, not ever in the world. But we went, my buddies and I, we were like in 7th grade, and we would go to the mall with walkie-talkies. And that was a big adventure. We would all run around the mall with walkie-talkies.
Well, that sounds fun.
It was fun. We were dorks, and we had a great time. And then I had moved back to the area and had to go over there for and I was there when the mall was on its last legs. Now it's been demolished.
Sure.
But when there was like no anchor stores anymore, and it was like the weird little shops that you were like, whoever goes into a
like
place
the
like
masseuse
this.
parlors and things like that.
And a lot of the Far Eastern art. I'm like, really? Who's buying samurai masks to put on their walls?
No, it's
mall?
very strange. It's very strange.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I was never one who I don't really love to shop all that much anyway. And we were talking about this at the break. I would much rather go online, look at the things that I like, know that there's a larger selection and a bigger size selection. And I'm usually the type of person that's probably looking for something fairly specific. So I'm going to go find it. I'm going to have a few of those things in different sizes and colors shipped to my house. I'm going to try them on in my bedroom on my own timeline where nobody's knocking on my door asking me if I need another bigger size.
Harsh fluorescent lights shining on you.
Because everybody looks good at what looks like a funhouse mirror too, right? Everybody's shorter, wider, whatever. And I don't need anybody tapping on the door asking me if I need the size up. I don't need that. Let me try it on myself, and then I'll just return them. Like this
Me
is
too. Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a much more productive way to get shopping done than being stressed out about it in a mall.
There was a calmness in the malls when I was on the road all the time. The mall always felt like home because it was the same stores. So wherever, other than some of the anchor stores being a different big department store regionally, the rest of the mall was the same. So it was like, oh, here's a little piece of normalcy in the mall.
There you go.
I don't need to be normal anymore. I don't need the mall anymore.
And if you're a teen, don't disrupt the mall.
Yeah, stop it, teens. You're ruining everything. That's why we can't have nice things. And that's why we're leaving. We're done. We've had enough. Thank you for listening and being part of the program. We will talk to you again tomorrow. I'm Brian Noonan. This is Daybreak.
I'm Jamie Martinson. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Civic Media Network. Stephanie Miller is next.
All right, live stream.
Live stream.
We leave you with the picture of a bunny eating its...
It's not a bunny. It is the bunny.
The bunny, sorry.
The bunny.
T-bunny.
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 I think he should just be T-bun.
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 Now, is he related to B-Rabbit?
Goodbye, last
He is.